We're so back.
We're so back, baby. Let's go.
All right. So is it the same draft? Are they running it back?
I did not even see. No, they did a new draft. It might be the same look, but I actually didn't get to catch who. But I did see him typing.
Ooh.
All right, so let me pull that spreadsheet back up. All right, Saucyhag, Lods, Dangsor, and Skedaddle taking match 1 of our best of 3 here, opening the semifinals of the OOOTECH Quintessence event. And we had a little bit of a rocky start of the stream. We should be back. Everything should be dialed. I did a bunch of video stuff, turning everything else down, so we should be Gucci. And it looks like it's looking a lot cleaner here. And so it's going to be up to BOA. What was it? Broken Oath? Something?
Buggy Oath Abusers.
Buggy Oath Abusers. It's going to be up
versus
to Buggy
on
Oath
me.
Abusers. Oh, and Buggy Oath Abusers actually abandoned the Oath, switching to the Height Brawl. Let's go.
And Connor also on Bishop now said the Zeph from last game.
This is going to be hype. Height looking for the entry here, trying to put out some damage. Lod's able to pull back of that, but Connor trying to follow up with the Bishop entry is going to take so much pressure from Blue here. Maybe able to kite out to the south as fighting's happening up north. Height able to take out Saucyhag while they trade. Skedaddle taking out Conra. So now in a 3v3 here, Red trading Height, taking out Dangsor. Blue going to have to kite to the south, look for this early angle on the res. Lods holding the beacon while Skedaddle trying to ledge guard, kind of create a gauntlet for Red to have to run through. All of Red is back here though. They were able to get that res through. So, but the blue res is coming through here. So Red having fire, it's up to Blue now to push into this Red front. Woo! Height looking for the entry, gets stunned out of it. It's actually huge. And Skedaddle trying to kite to the north, but it's just, oh, actually Blue
3v2
on the front foot here. Yeah, so Red is actually losing. Red's trying to lock in this kill, so they actually have somewhat of a chance in the 3v4. They are able to get it, but now Blue pushing, trying to push him off of that wisp. Omzor trying to pump on the strike, but taking huge damage there from the ult from Lods. And it's just up to Spade Storms now. Dangsor throwing out the napalm, shooting the laser, one tap, and Spade Storms goes down. So really nice round from Blue there.
I thought Lods kind of messed up by full dashing towards on the right side after the res, but the team followed up when Height tried to engage on him, and everything just turned around at that very point. Height getting caught out was insane play out of Lods.
Yeah, and it's like to catch a brawl in a CC like that. I think before he even got a chance to ult, and I think they deleted him before this crowd control ended. So like really nice. That's basically what you got.
The strike bird was hit him dead on, and he could do nothing about it.
So Blue putting out some big damage, all of Red kind of having to heal up in the back, and big difference in the comp here with Lods on the Zeph, able to keep his team topped off while Red having to use pots. Vibroot to continuously heal up. Spade Storm's taking big damage now as we're in a 3v3. Height pumping though, Skedaddle and Conra putting out so much damage, it's just going to be Lods left. All of a sudden, Red just
Skedaddle last. Oh, and Height gets him. Flexing at level 8. Mastery level 8.
That is, dude, that's good. 8 is like,
yeah.
I don't know if I've seen someone on 8.
One of like only 10 people who have level 8 mastery on anybody.
That's crazy. Respect. Wait, that was Skedaddle on the Fox?
I think that was either Skedaddle or Height Brawl. Wasn't too sure.
That's dope. All right, Height looking for the entry.
Big nade out of Lods here.
It is a monster nade coming out from Lods there, catching 3 members. Yeah, Spade Storms tries to trade, but it's going to be a little too late there. Wow, really decisive round from Blue there.
Height said no more nice guy, went Brawl, but it looks like Blue team has an answer for it. I'm not too sure.
I think it's
this Brawl pick.
It
looks
seems
good though.
Like without a support, like without a Zeph behind him, it seems, or at least an Oath, like it seems hard to make the Brawl work a lot of times in an arena setting when you're up against another healer. It's basically Red has to do it perfect, get the deletes just like this. Height looking, but an excellent dash out there by Omzor. Oh, Height not able to lock in the ult, getting punished after the ult is down, taken out there, but Omzor trading back, putting out huge damage on Skedaddle. So Blue has one down as well. Conra on the back line, pumping onto Danksor and Cat Microwave. Saucy Hack turns. They isolate Conra. Conra one shot, but able to actually peel out there. Now, kind of just some posturing.
If Omni just takes the poke game, both bug abusers have no answer to the damage that they're doing. They have to use pods, but at some point they're going to run out of pods. They have no support. They're just going to get poked out. And if both bug abusers can poke harder and get kind of an engage with Conra, might be a good play. But Omzor, Saucy can get the ulti off on Omzor, and Omzor's 1 HP. And Saucy got he got the rest from the Zeph ulti. He's going to get rest here.
Oh, but
he dies instantly. And Danger's down. But who else can do it besides Zeph in a 1v2 against Conra in spades?
Yeah, it's such a nice punch from Conra there to really lock in the numbers advantage. Spadestorm's on the flank now. Lods has to make a miracle happen here. So low, barely able to whoosh out there as Red kind of takes fire position. Spadestorms rips the ulti. Virides Fury coming out big, puts the third arrow to the face, takes out Lods. And Red is able to take a round, and that's basically what they got to do. It's got to be decisive, and they got to take out, kind of the support angle and even up the healing, use the pressure of their 4 DPS. Because they have, it's kind of an all-in, huge amount of damage comp. You got the poke of the Myth Shrek to kind of weaken him up, but the Bishop and the Brawl looking to follow up with a big entry. Height maybe see someone isolated out in the north here. Going to look for the grapple, but is going to shift out of there. And like you said, only a limited amount of Bind Brew, right? So you only heal a certain amount of times.
Only 3 pots on each character. Doesn't get to kill and steal some.
Wow, so just
high 1 HP.
Yeah, so much damage getting traded there. Skedaddle taken out. Blue at numbers advantage. Height does get the slam through. Just going to be Danksor left. So yeah, 2 good-looking rounds by Red. Really kind of playing to their advantage. Finding those, kind of isolated members and getting that instantly. All members of Red putting the damage together all at once. Just like an overwhelming force that really can't be healed through.
And I think both bug abusers have found their comp that they want, as they are looking like an even matchup against On Me. As half this time, I know Laz is yelling, on me, whenever Height jumps on him.
That's awesome. That's where the name comes from. I love it.
Yeah.
Hey, that's what I'd be doing if I'm playing support, keeping everyone alive. Height on him. Is going to be forced out there, so the team does respond to the call. Conra on him is going to be forced as well. One shot, really big ulti, but not quite able to finish it off. Lod's looking to chase, actually finish, does get the nade, so they do isolate Conra, get the kill, but it's going to leave Skedaddle isolated himself on the top, but the Fox will not go down, putting so much damage on the Height. After a big chase, Height able to lock it in, but now going to actually be a 2v2, and Height finds the Wisp. So Blue playing over this Wisp, Height looking for the recall, maybe just to vision or to bait. He's going to take it. So all the way in, true to the Brawl fashion, gets the R&B through on Sauciac. Just going to be Danksor and Cat Microwave left. Danksor with the nade trying to buy some time, but it's not going to be enough as Red 3 rounds in a row, Toilet. Looking clean here.
And as Height showed, he's mastery level 8 on that Brawl.
Oh, that one I believe. Surprised he's not higher, honestly. That's funny. All right.
Omni having a hard time answering this Brawl and Bishop.
It's kind of like if they get it lined up, it's a tough comp to deal with if they get the kind of entry and burst lined up. And I think yeah, it's really up to Red to do it perfect, and it's up to Blue to try to defend. And if Blue can kind of sustain through that entry, find a pit. Oh! Conra!
Conra!
Oh, it was so big.
Just goes in on Conra down as Danexor also goes down. Skedaddle, 1 HP. Saucy, my HP. Saucy soon, but Skedaddle kills Omzor 2v2.
Skedaddle having a monster round here, actually going crazy. Height doesn't
Height goes in!
Oh, but Saucy!
Oh, he gets blasted!
What a
Just up to spades now. Saucy carrying this round. Same with Skedaddle. Both insane plays right now in this round. Spades, can he do it? We've seen him do crazy plays yesterday. Can he do more today, though?
Seen a couple nasty R&Bs already. Is going to get tagged by the Bird Bomb. half health, looking for one more heal here. Probably going to be out of Vibrew. Another bird bomb coming through. Looks like Blue playing the safe
I
angle.
like this. Playing it
Fire
safe
and
here.
res, really going to lock it in. 4 Spade Storms to make it happen here instead of chasing, which is a little harder. Like Myth playing backward, a little easier than playing forward. Doesn't care though. Going in, big connection with Virtus Fury onto Omzor. Omzor just hiding, waiting for the recall. Really nice play there as
Really smart
Skedaddle
play.
gets the res, recalls, fly to the Firefox in. Nothing for Spade Storms to do. So really nice kind of sustain there by Blue.
It wasn't pretty, but it got the job done.
Like
that's
after
that's
that
all they
entry
want to do
from
against this team.
Conra, I was like, it was looking like Red's round, right? And then Blue just held on.
Skedaddle barely gets the kills that he needs to get, especially on Conra, who is wreaking havoc in that back line. As Conra looking to do the same again, as Hype goes in on Lods.
Yeah,
Lods has to be more careful here.
able to heal up just a little bit there. Uses a pot. He's got plenty of Zeph healing in the tank. And yeah, a little
Has
poke
to play more
battle.
careful. Oh,
he's got the
anti-heal
grapple in.
onto Saucy. Hype playing complacent here. He just knows that they just want the bonfire here. That's all they want. Skedaddle, he got naded out of there. Oh, but the whiff.
Yeah, the whip is big. Height sees it.
And now they
Cooldowns are
know.
down. Tethers looks for the entry. Conra following up.
Conra,
Punch into
follow up.
Stasiak. A delete. So huge entry here by Red. 4 members up. Skedaddle trying to keep them off of Danksor's corpse. Lod's doing everything he can to try to play around the Wisp. It's not going to be enough. So now Blue isolated in the 2v4. Just so much damage from Red. Going to be so hard to turn that around. Really well played by Height. You called it out, Toilet. The patience knows they just want the bonfire and able to really kind of, you know, bait that and then go for the entry once the cooldowns are down.
And on me really are beginning to be shown that they need to choose. They need to choose either Conra or Height because they're just playing patty cake right now. They're going back and forth. They're playing off each other so well, Conra and Height.
Yeah.
That it's just insane work here.
It's really
is
cool
that game 2?
Yeah. So that's going to be tied at 1-1 now for the
1-1
matches in this best of 3.
Also, can you change their names?
Oh yeah, good call. So these guys are
BOA
BOA
and OM.
OM. On Me and Buggy Oath Abusers. Let's go.
OM needs an answer here. For the first game, it looked like Skedaddle had no contestant, like nothing could contest him. As you saw from yesterday, the only thing that could stop him was a Void. And that was the hardest matchup.
True.
But today, it just looks like Height and Conra is the answer.
I mean,
just
yeah,
them alone.
The entry, like when Height goes in and Conra able to follow up with the ulti into the punch, even if they get him into Wisp, you know, putting the Wisp into the wall, just insta-deleting it, eliminating that chance for them to have any kind of like playback. And Height can do the same thing on the Brawl with the ulti, right? So they actually have like kind of double the ability to just insta-box people, which is really like a big kind of advantage in Arena when you consider how important the kind of rezzing and Wisp play is, especially for a team with someone like a Zeph, right?
Yeah. They have no counter engage, it looks like, besides... No, they really have no counter engage on the set of On Me last game. All they had was probably Zeph nade or maybe even Strike, R&B, Ghost nade maybe, but not really. It's just really hard.
Yeah, and it looks like they're going to be sticking with, at least OM is going to be sticking with a similar comp. We see Shrike Felix Ghost picked up for them so far, while Shrike Myth on the side of BOA. So I think so far...
Looks like a run back soon.
A run back, yeah.
Lod's probably going Zeph here. I can't see any other way he has to go here. He just uses ulti.
Oh!
Jhin! Lod's known for his Jhin.
Let's
Before
go.
he switched to Zeph in Arena, his Jhin is one of the scariest Jhins in the server. So hopefully he can try and carry here.
Dude, that was hype. I was totally expecting the Zeph.
I was expecting Zeph.
Let's go. I love to see the Jhin pick up. And this guy, I mean, if you've played any ranked in North America, you have run into this guy on the Jhin. He is a menace.
My worst nightmare, Lods on Jhin.
So we'll see. Jhin definitely a little harder to pull off in the arena setting. Doesn't have quite the ability to thrive in the chaos, finding those isolated 1v1s, playing over Abyss, all these things that really kind of exemplify the power in Jin's kit. His crazy mobility across the map with the LMB. Like, he's got all these things that play really well in the BR, and he still can be strong in arena, but it has to be executed very well. And we were talking about it a bit yesterday. Toilet has to basically wait for someone to be kind of chunked, armor down, maybe look for that entry so we can be getting those Q resets through.
It seems as if OM has no answer to the Brawl and Bishop, so they said, let's fight fire and fire. And they got Jin and Felix as their engages against the Brawl and Bishop.
Yeah, this is going to be hype. So no supports anywhere on the map. Full damage v damage. This is the
Very
kind
interesting
of
game going here.
Let's go.
Very exciting.
Ooh, starting off with a nice bird bomb coming out from Saucy Hack.
I'll be focusing on Lods here. Lods gonna. Anyone put your eyes on Lods here. He's gonna look for engage here. He clones back. He's looking for an engage.
Oh, just deletes
One shots Amzor. Skitao follows up, trying to kill Spades. As on the other side, Height and Conrad taking out Saucy Hack and Danzexor.
Wow.
Now it's gonna be a 2v2. As this is what they expected. This is what they wanted. They wanted this a 2v2, but they cannot let this res happen. That's the one thing they cannot let happen. As Skitao goes in. Watch the res.
Ooh.
Oh. It's off to Lods now.
Oh, Dagger's back. Almost able to get the combo. Trying to maybe play for the Wisp angle here. Oh, can't swap out
did not swap.
with the Wisp there. So a really close round. The 4v4 instantly turns into a 2v2. But in the end, like you were talking about, the Height Conrad duo, just a little too strong there.
Yeah, they traded 2v2 in their backline, but I'm not sure if that's what OM wants. Felix is good into Brawl, but I don't know. It's Height Brawl after all, and Bishop Conrad. It's really hard to play this Felix and those two guys.
Yeah. I will say both strikes have been pumping. We see bird bombs connecting and back. Skedaddle looking for the flight of the Firefox entry. Gonna take huge damage to the face from Omzor. Cat Microwave trying to follow up on the damage with the Jin is gonna be forced out. Sauciac super low trying to follow up as well. So Blue trying to follow up on the Firefox engage is actually gonna get sort of picked apart from the raw damage coming out from BOA here.
I enjoyed this from BOA. They kind of baited the engage with Height, thinking that Conrad was going to go in 2 and they're going to trade backlines again. But Conrad was with Spades and Omzor in the backline, and he just came out and destroyed Skitaddle and Lods from any type of engage. And Height, with the bait, he just went back. After they saw it happen, he just left, and it was just a 4v2 after that, and the round was just over after all that.
Yeah, and at the very end there, you see Lods trying to play over Abyss. BOA knows what he's trying to do. No one chasing him out there until Height sees the angle. Goes for dunks up. Connor!
Oh, big punch!
Insane punch into the wall. Gets 3 members
Lods going
all
in.
super chunked out.
Conrad no ulti.
Putting out pressure here.
Conrad 1 HP, Lods 1 HP. Saucy getting spiked by the rain of arrows.
Yeah, and Red does have fire control. Pretty nice position for them. Strike Nade coming out. Spadestorm's going to have to shift that back. Height has the tether out. Maybe looking for the entry here. Rain is going to isolate Dangstor a little bit, taking the anti-heal and big damage. Skedaddle to the north side there, trying to find the flank. And this whole time, Lods in the bush, trying to be the Jin assassin, trying to make them lose vision, come in for the delete. But is it going to be too late as Height and Conrad again engage onto Sauciac, take him out instantly? Conrad is going to get taken out by Dangsor, so they do trade, but Height just putting so much damage out on that Brawl.
Dangsor at last waving the white flag as he goes down.
Man, BOA looking clean with this comp.
Yes, this comp is kind of insane here so far. They can do whatever they want. OM has to make the first step. If they give BOA the first step, they give him all the control in the game, do whatever they want. That's not what you want with this comp on me. Yeah. They want control of this game.
There it
but
is.
They can't. As Lods! One shots Conrad. Now they have control. This is what they wanted.
Yep. Really wanted to.
And Conrad's gonna die here.
Nice. All right, so Blue looking a little strong here. Red splitting up.
Res.
Height far right, looking for the res. Skedaddle hears it, gonna go for it. Look at this full 3-way split from res. Spadestorm's crossing to the island. Height getting pressure.
I'd like one person on me to get Bonfire, but I guess maybe taking out Height is the better decision. I'm not too sure.
They're trying for it. Looks like one is going to peel back. They're going to leave 2 to Height. Snipe comes
shot by
from
Dan.
Dangsor. Really nice there. And so Blue
got
going
the
to
Bonfire
continue holding fire vision. It looks like Spadestorm's res is going to come through. So they are going to be back on the map, but they are going to have a member isolated with Omzor. Oh, doing the recall.
But do they know about this? But do they know that they're coming from the left side? Well, now they do from the
don't think
bird.
they think all 4 are, but now they do. As Skedaddle and Sauciac see it, 3 members of Blue arrive. 1 still to show
Oh,
up
what an
here.
aid!
Oh.
Conrad dead! Instant one shot by Dan! Holy moly, Dan on this ghost!
Yeah,
As Lod follow up on Omzor, Hyde goes in to try and get one back. He could not. As Skedaddle tries and push him off, as he does. Saucy Dan looking up. Hyde trying to push off Lods.
Ooh,
They're playing time. They have to get on points. Looks like Owen's going to take this round here as they cannot get on point anymore.
Yeah, so exactly what you were
Damn.
saying, Toilet. They need to have the kind of the pressure advantage, find that early delete, and they do that round. And even though Red splits early, looks for the res, has another kind of 4v4 engage there, it's not going to be enough. So really well played round by Blue there, putting themselves on the board, kind of giving themselves the confidence to know they can beat this comp if they execute properly.
Look at Lods here. They don't know that he's here yet, and they know that they're looking for an engage. They're just going to try and engage on the rest of OM. Now they see him. Conrad down. Lods going in on Spades and Omzor. Lods, no abilities here. Has to TP out. As Skedaddle takes on Omzor. Height on the right side.
Oh!
Dies to Dan. Almost killed Saucy. And they all still alive. Zick, they're all alive still after all of that.
It was like, bro, it was like, okay, like the BOA has solved the puzzle and they have this really strong comp now. Now, all of a sudden, this round and last round, it almost is like OM has found the answer, like lining up the damage with the Jhin, turning both rounds into an instant 3v4, not going to let Spadestorms finish this res, continuing to push him out over the abyss. This is Jin's specialty. Does miss the dagger, though. So
This dagger is still dead.
doesn't matter in the end. OM taking another round. So really nice kind of answer after we saw 3 rounds go the side of the buggy Oath of viewers very early.
You could tell Hyatt, once he sees his teammate goes down, he's looking for a play on the Omzor. I mean, sorry, excuse me, on the Saucy Hack and Dan's Exor, but he cannot. Their peel's too insane against Hyatt here. Look at Lods here. They still know that he's here. They don't know if he's top or bottom yet.
Oh.
Now they know that he's here. But Hyatt kills Dan as Skedaddle goes in and gets Myth RMB'd and dies instantly. Now, 2v4 Saucy, Lods, can they do it? Lods looking to go res on a different map as Saucy goes down.
It's almost like if they get the successful entry delete with the Jhin, they win, and if they don't, they lose. And right there, like you said, no one knew Lods was in that bush, but it was too late. Hai had already... Oh!
What?
What? Did he, like, shift the dunk momentum? I don't know if I've seen that before.
I'm not too sure. But... yeah, I mean, he realized quickly that in order to win these matches, he just has to engage first. As soon as he sees a vision in, he just has to go.
Yeah,
Give no time for Lods and Skedaddle to do whatever they want on the top and bottom side or whatever side they're coming from.
yeah, that's a really good call out. Like the adaptation by Height there, like looking this round for that super fast entry, knowing that OM's win condition is basically the Jhin delete right off the bat, and then playing numbers advantage. So
Is that 4-2, Zick?
I believe that is
3-2?
4-2, my friend.
4-2.
A match point here.
BOA match point here.
And this is for all the marbles because we are 1-1 in the series so far. Best of 3. All right.
Lods though, he needs to make a play quick. I don't know if being in this bush this often is gonna help. See, Height, he knows it. They know it. They get the big. Oh my God! By Conrad, Height, Omzor, Spades, they all do it together. Oh my God! And now it's just gonna be Lods left. Oh wait, he's not last. Oh wait, he's gonna get this res off. Wait.
He might have
Owen
time.
may have gotten bailed out. Height
yeah,
though,
super
he's gonna
fast
get there in
brawl.
time. I could not do it, and I think BOA, unless Skedaddle can do some crazy things here. I think BOA is gonna take this as they do.
What a round. I mean, what a this match was such a cool, like it just instant, so much damage, no support, both teams lining up the burst, and we saw multiple 3-man punches from Conra, that one being super massive to set up Height and crew to follow up, like basically deleting 3 members right off the bat there, solidifying the 5-2 victory in match 3 of the best of 3 between these two squads. So buggy oath abusers, despite not running the oath, are going to be moving on here.
Yo, I just got a call from production to come in here. What is this?
Oh, Wedel, our
What
new
is this?
caster.
No
What is
I
way.
do
this?
I do actually have a little bit of breakdown from that, by the way, from that insane match right there.
Mr. Wedel,
You know-
what a pleasure. We would love to hear it, my friend. Welcome in.
So one of the craziest things, I was like watching both those compositions play. They both play 2 engage, 2 range, right? Like, so you have the Ghost and you have the Myth. And then you have the Shrike and you have the Myth. Now, Shrike and Myth, right? They play somewhat similar in the terms of like what their kids are trying to do is keep the arm's length of their players, whereas Ghost can kind of like do both, in my opinion. So I personally think the long range fight was better on the side of OM, but I do think that the engage on BOA is a lot easier to execute than the engage on OM, right? I think that with the Jhin, you have like this problematic, like you have this thing where you have to thread the needle on like your abilities. Now, granted, Glods is a crazy Jhin. We all know this. We all know Glods is insane on the Jhin, right? And Skedaddle is just playing Felix, right? Not super hard engage. But I do want to say, I think the Brawl has a much easier time just playing in the face. And on top of the Bishop, where you can get the free stuns, the punches, you just line up everything for that Brawl. So I got to give it to like Height and Conra here, because like their engages were absolutely insane.
Yeah.
You know, Spades and Umzor played amazingly, right? Like playing back, keeping themselves alive as long as they could, right? But Height and Conra were just playing the engage fight so much better. It was a dream come true from both of them. They performed phenomenally. And honestly, I thought Owen were about to take it back when they started to get that 2 run. I thought they were close to taking it back with that long range combat. I thought we were about to see a masterpiece come to work.
Absolute
cinema.
cinema.
Absolute cinema.
Absolute cinema.
But BOA, you know, they take it in the end.
Yeah, so a really nice match there. And like, I love the best of 3s, man, because we saw the best of 1s yesterday, and those are cool, but it's like, you don't really get a clear picture because sometimes it's kind of like a comp diff. But in the best of 3, and especially when you move into finals for best of 5, you get like a much kind of clearer picture of each team's strength, and then you get kind of like the meta strategy, the macro strategy of like, you know, comp versus enemy comp, and then like even the draft strategy coming really into play in like match 3. We saw it, you know, in that series there, kind of like each team trying to like figure out each other, find the right piece to the puzzle to like, you know, lock in the victory. And yeah, really nice job from the Buggy Oath abusers there.
Absolutely, for sure. I think one of the biggest things that like I've learned, I've been around for a while for these arena things, but from watching them and observing them, I think one of the biggest things is like being able to adjust, and like noticing from previous arena tournaments, a lot of teams were not, they were sticking to like a strategy, so to speak. Like a lot of other games do this as well, where people will stick to like very core picks and specific picks off of bans and that kind of thing. Though I really enjoy watching the teams though that will play like they don't care about those kinds of like meta term picks, right? Like I don't know if necessarily there is meta term picks, right? But like, you know, I think it's really cool to see the teams play their comfortability or even play something outside the box, like the Felix, for example. I think the Felix it's such a great counter to a lot of things in arena that a lot of people just don't want to play it because they want to play, you know, they want to play their meta, you know.
They want to play like what's exciting. They don't think that the Fox isn't exciting enough.
I think the Fox is crazy. You got this. It's literally like a airstrip field of fire, and she just comes flying in, and then guess what? He just pulls you in like a tornado. It's literally crazy. It's like a flame tornado. I don't know. I think the Felix is crazy.
And he can do some crazy stuff with getting like big pulls, especially in the ulti, like stacking that shield and then just like spraying everyone down. Actually can be so hard to deal with. Like, especially with the item advantage, like when I'm just like queuing ranked, if you come up against a Felix that's like kind of like stat checks you, it's just like so hard to deal with. Especially on like, I'm playing like Myth or Ghost or something, and they get in my face and I like my dash is down, I just can't do anything.
No, the shield on top of having like legendary armor, even in like ranked, right? Or even like in this, when you get the green armor, the damage reduction plus the shield is insane because like you have this shield, you have more damage reduction. You're literally just this, and you do a ton of damage because you do is it max HP or is it just health in general? With the ticking, because there's like it's like a very specific
Where is he?
thing on Felix. It's his with his passive, I'm pretty sure. Max health, yeah.
Confirmed.
Also,
Yeah,
level
it's-
1 does kill now.
Oh yeah,
The
true.
burn. Change it to kill.
True, true.
Just haven't changed the thing.
Yeah, and exactly.
Oh, is
and
the,
so,
is
like,
the
there's
tooltip still outdated? Does it say it doesn't kill?
Yeah, it says non-lethal.
That's classic TC right there.
That's good. That's great. And you know, I like preach this all the time. Like, I think one of my hardest matchups, like when I play like Shiv, right, is Felix. I think Felix is like something that counters a lot of this close range engage that doesn't really have a lot of tools to defend themselves.
Yeah.
Like, I think in some aspects people will say, "Oh, it can counter the oath." I agree. I think it can counter the oath, but I think if the oath is playing at like the right length, I think the oath can counter the Felix.
Yeah.
Like that's the only close range where I feel like it'd be kind of fair. Otherwise, I think the Felix is just great to like counter. I thought it was great into the Brawl, for example. Knowing Height's gonna play Brawl, I think that
Yeah.
Felix is like your next best pick.
And it's like both Shiv and Brawl have this like, you know, really big beneficial self-healing that comes through when they secure kills. But against like a beefy Fox, if you're not able to, you know, get that kill through, you're just hitting into a shield. Like, and you know, being able to build up that shield, especially hitting like multiple members and stacking that, it's like the burst you have to put out so much burst to take this Fox down, and the hunters, like you say, like Shiv or Brawl, that like rely on these heals from kills to like keep them thriving in the fight, like really kind of just get shut down by the Fox on top of the crazy amount of anti-heal, right? That's just stopping all of it.
100%. But I will say, staple pick out here. You got to say shout out to all these Zeph mains that play in Arena.
Yeah,
like
true.
Zeph is such a like ever since I watched Pine play or should I say Strikel Jordan play the Zeph. I just think Zeph is like such a prime pick in Arena. Like there's no other way. Like I would say if you always get the chance, get the Zeph. If not, ban the Zeph. I haven't been in the actual setting to play an Arena tourney, but I would ban the Zeph 100%. I feel like it's such a staple pick if they have bans. If they don't have bans, then, you know, pick it 100%. But that is insane to me that the Zeph is just such a strong pick.
Yeah, and it's like for the amount of heals he can put out, like the way that LMB feeds into the RMB, like if he's connecting the LMB, he's putting out big damage pressure, and that's actually giving him more RMBs to dump into his team to like negate the enemy's damage pressure. So like in a setting like Arena where you're actually like trading damage the whole time, like the value of that kit is just kind of crazy when you think about it, right? And on top of the huge amount of crowd control from a good nade, with the ult to be able to follow through, and kind of the mark burst with, you know, the wisp play coming into effect, the ult. So there's a really stacked kit and leans really well into kind of like the Arena 4v4 format.
Exactly. And I think that another thing too is like with people getting better at the game, they also discover more mechanics. Like for example, Zeph B hopping was never like discovered for a very long time when Zeph was out. But you know, you had someone like Moore come around and like these support players that are just really good at these like hunters, you know, and like they discover these cool mechanics, and then people start to discover like pod racing on Oath. You know what I mean? And it's just like, it's like. I think like a lot of these picks in Arena, like people be like, oh, but you're going to be like close range. You're not really running around in like a BR. But I argue like if you get in these terrible circumstances, you have something like Strikel Jordan pulling off a 1v3 on Zeph because, you know, he has the ability to B-hop around and be able to hit people at like strike range at this point.
Yeah, and just like a couple good, especially if people are chasing the Zeph and he's like kind of kiting away, throwing the nade like fade away, just a couple good charged LMBs can just chunk someone out so fast. Like double blade Zeph, like he just like still has so much damage in the tank. And that's what, like, I think you're probably the same way, Wedel. I love SUPERVIVE supports because they can all basically pump like that, and it makes it just like I'm not really a support player at all, but I really enjoy Zeph because he literally just feels like Ezreal, but can also heal.
Exactly. And I know, Toilet, you play Zeph. One of the major things that I really like about Zeph is like his damage is like more conditional to that passive, correct? Like you're
Yes.
It's called Second Wind, I believe.
Yes, it's called Second Wind. His
Second
passive,
Wind.
you can proc it with either your auto or your ulti can also apply it. but abilities such as your nade and your ulti can also proc at the same time. So one thing a lot of Zeph players do is that when they throw their nade and they know it's going to hit, they will ulti right before to apply everyone within that nade area a second wind, and then the nade procs it and just does so much damage as they all get stunned together as well. It's like 3/4 of their health basically gone as they're stunned as well. It's the most insane thing in the game.
That dude, when that combo comes through, it looks so peak. It's just like destruction, and you get like the force of the ult pushing everyone back, but then the nade snaps them all back in, and you get like the double proc of the mark. It just like rips so hard.
It's also good if you're pushing people into the nade as well.
Yeah, like
that's
push
also
the
a
nade a
thing.
little behind. Yeah.
Yep.
One thing I will say about these maps too in Arena, these maps are really well set up for, like, unironically, I know Void's not played a lot, but there's a lot of terrain. I feel like Void and Ghost just have like a lot of, like, even Bishop too. The more I think about, like, there's a lot of hunters that play around like a lot of terrain. These Arena maps for the most part are set up with a lot of terrain surrounding them. So there's a lot of these like hunters that you wouldn't necessarily see like prominent in maybe like BR, but you can see more prominent in Arena because they're more for that like close range 1v1, 4v4 team fighting.
Yeah. Like a
you're
good
not really gonna
example,
see 'em.
like ghost grenades, right? You got a lot more angles
Yeah.
on an arena map than like fighting in desert in the BR, right?
Exactly. And that's where I was like watching Danzor play. It was like I just get to notice it more, like that Ghost, has all these angles to throw the nades. And the nades aren't just like, in BR, you nade somebody, half the time they're going over in a lot of open land. So you're not getting the chance to shoot at them. But in in the arena, they don't really go that far away. Like there's like usually a lot of terrain they'll just bounce right back into. They'll get stunned and you'll just have a time to unload an entire clip onto them. So
yeah, right.
it's really, really beneficial. Some other picks that'd be very interesting to see would be, I know, I swear, it was like Lemur I was watching one time, Bebo in Arena.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like
Arena is one of the strongest characters currently with that bomb being able to stomp as well as cap. This Bebo character is not balanced, I think.
I
Not
agree.
okay, war criminal.
And it can res wisps now too.
Yeah, it can res and stomp.
What is this business about the bomb being alive? Like I don't know what they're
It's
on. With this.
it's sentient, I guess. I don't know.
Dude, eventually we're gonna get a hunter that is the bomb itself. You know what I mean? It's like Voltorb from Pokemon. It could just self-destruct. That's all its abilities is just self-destruct.
I was telling people that hooking the bomb is more beneficial than hooking Bebo himself.
Did you guys see the top voted comment on the Eva preview on YouTube? Someone said she has two B bombs.
Two Bebo bombs. Was it Scarb?
I don't know.
That's good. That's so good. That's so good. I did not see it because I watched it on Twitter, but that is so. I gotta go like that comment right now. That's actually just 10 out of 10. Wait a minute.
That made me laugh for sure.
But no, I think Bebo, like watching Bebo was absolutely insane. Like that is just, whew.
Speaking of which, we have the draft going on right now. Gun picking Oath.
Oath.
Ooh.
Oath.
Classic
First
pick for
pick.
Galaxy.
Of course. What else is he playing? Probably Zeph, if he needs to.
Yeah, if they want it.
If they want it.
I'd love to see him like game over Shiv.
No, I think we're going to see game over Bebo.
Zeph
Maybe even a
Myth.
Lemur Bebo here. Zeph Myth.
There's your Zeph.
Tarisha, Zeph player, very known. Very new, actually. Zeph
Tarisha
player.
actually was doing
Yes.
work yesterday. Like I hadn't seen them before, and they had a couple crazy Zeph plays.
I saw them just recently in ranked squads. Like recently, I saw them like actually playing the game. I've never seen their name before. Like about a week ago was when I first started seeing them. They're insane on the Zeph. So nothing to be too easy about on the team of Gun.
Yeah, and I think it's like cool to remind everyone that these are basically random arena teams. Like these guys didn't just like form up. They're not like their normal teams. It was literally the tournament organizers, Toilet here, as well as Jang, doing like a random thing and then balancing just a little bit to make sure no one was like super overpowered off the randomness. But it's basically random teams and all these players like yesterday sort of playing together for the first, you know, maybe have had some matches together before, but as a team of 4 playing together for the first time. And for that, like the games have been so competitive for it just being sort of like random teams. Like these players are getting so good at just like, you know, jiving with whoever they're, because we've had like multiple events now where we do this sort of like mix up stuff. And I think it's really cool, you know, giving newer players like Taricha the opportunity to play with someone, you know, like Lemur, where it's like the, you know, the amount of value you can glean from just being on someone's team like that has been playing the game for a while, you know, like it's just like invaluable kind of knowledge for a new player. So it's really cool to see. I love events like this where, you know, like newer, less experienced players are getting kind of auto mixed in with the vets, and then you get this really cool, you know, friendships being formed, like new synergies happening, new connections made, new teams potentially coming from players playing together off these random teams, right?
Yes, as we
Exactly.
saw from yesterday, that the teams looked very shaky when they first got together, but now they look like actual professional teams when they're
That's what
playing
I'm
together.
saying. Like the rounds
Gun
are
and
so
Z,
close.
as we see in chat, Bebo strike on Gun, that will probably be game over and race on the strike. Bishop Ghost for Team Z. Bishop, who's that going to?
Lemur.
Ghost. Lemur, Bishop Lemur,
I
and
think
then
I
Ghost.
think that's a Bishop Lemur, and that's gonna be a Maddie Ghost.
Maddie
no?
Ghost, yep, bet Maddie Ghost.
That's gonna
And
be
who
a
was the
Bishop
other
Lemur.
pick?
Myth and for Dylan.
Myth on Dylan, correct. Thank you.
Or no, Myth on Taricha or
Yeah,
Taricha
Taricha
Zeph.
Zeph, Dylan
Zeph,
Myth.
yes, okay. Yeah, I gotta get my
And then
facts
last
straight
pick
here.
is Hudson.
They're playing lockdown composition,
playing-
baby. That's Shrike, Bebo, Oath, and Huddy. Can you get past that brick wall?
I don't know. It's gonna
they
be
have
really tough.
Do they have
Hudson-
enough manpower? That's the
Hudson
question.
known for being a really bad pick in Arena, but I think if any team can do it, I think Gun is going to do it. As their name stands for Gunners Incorporated, I think they can do it if anyone's in the field.
Oh, 100%.
100% here.
Lock the Zeph in, talking about the Zeph, give some Zeph energy to the match. See some
There we
crazy
are.
Zeph plays coming out from Taricha, maybe.
I'll leave it to Zik and Wedel to do the casting here. Have fun, guys.
Oh gosh, you're putting me on the spot. No, I was gonna say, back in the day, one of my favorite things. You know how you were saying these teams are mostly randomized. One of my favorite things back in the day was playtest show matches. A lot of those were randomized too. We really did not have. We kind of just signed up, and like if you didn't have a squad, like Quiff would just assign you with some people,
That's dope.
and it was like.
I like.
Fun.
I didn't
it
ever
was
really
fun.
participate in those, but I watched every single one, I think, and they were so fun to watch, man. Because that was basically my first, you know, taste of like, what does a real competitive match of SUPERVIVE look like from a spectator's point of view? You know, being kind of interested in casting and coming at it from this angle. And like, dude, the show matches, I just remember having so much fun watching those, and they're just like solidified in my memory, especially once they got Relic in, bro, and you had the professional casting going. Felt like I was literally like LCS listening to like Flowers and Azale, like.
Oh no, it's amazing. But as we're already starting off, Lemur with an insane punch to rip it off, chuck down some of these HP bars. But we had the Beeble bomb.
Yeah, it was huge. It was huge.
That Beeble bomb was insane. Lemur off with the 1v1 game over. Z down with 2 members, but they can't really get through. Like I said, this brick wall that's going to be impossible to penetrate through.
Dude, it's so hard to play into the Huddy. Taricha doing it, though, almost able to delete Galaxy Gayboy with the combo there. Not going to quite be able to get it through. Chinese Spy just bullying after that. Hudson on the grind rail. Tony Hawk Pro Skater turret coming straight at you. Does not look like a good time. Lemur going to be last one left here on Z. Oh, just getting res through, bro.
They got the res off. Wait a minute. This is going to be... Well, then again, Gun does have the green armor now. They are the brick wall already. So Z is going to be playing in a very tough matchup here. They're going to have to play from both angles to maybe possibly get something here.
Yeah, they really want to take out that Huddy. We saw the focus there. Oh, they're going to get Reese isolated. They get to pick. Chinese Spy going to take damage. Galaxy Gayboy tries to block it, but it's going to go through. So 2 down for Red. We see game over on the Wisp. They're trying to buy time. Galaxy is, but they are going to get the res through. So Bebo back up. One tap. Tonks through to the left. Not going to get anything of it, but gets himself out. So now in a 4v3, Red looking to heal up a bit. Oh.
Yeah, it looks like, unfortunately, Z getting that res off was the downfall for Gun in this round.
Yeah. And it's like Wisp play, Wedel, is like so critical. It's important in BR, but there's like, it seems like there's like more options with Crown and everything to bring people back in BR. In Arena, with the focus of the enemy team just directly on you, nothing to distract them, no third parties. It's like there's kind of a lot more pressure to finish those Wisps, and if you don't, like it basically that can happen. A round that's looking like it might be yours just gets turned completely around.
Exactly. I'll never get amazed by how far that Bebo bomb can be blasted from. It is just insane. Lemur with a great engage, already taking out the Shrike. Reese goes down. Bebo cart in.
Let's go.
Bomb explosion, but oh, it looks like he didn't explode. Wait. Oh, Dylan's going down. The Wisp is Reese is still possibly gonna get up here. Are they gonna stop Dylan from getting res?
Oh, trying to push it. Lemur putting out so much damage on this Bishop, though, being so disruptive. Red sticking as the death clump. They're going to take a member out, but it gets traded back again by Lemur. So Lemur and Maddie trying to pump here. Nade out by Maddie could be huge on game over. Chinese Spy looking for the res on Reese, is going to get it through. Lemur not able to pop him off, but the R&B is huge. Reese one-shot. Lemur in with the ulti. Gets the punch. Follow-up on Chinese Spy. Maddie spraying afterward. Tong coming in, but holy, what a round from Z there. Just so clean with the follow-up.
Exactly, dude. Watching, like, it's not even just watching Lemur, just watching this team play Z, like, they're doing so well right off the rip. You know, they're playing like comeback in sort of a sense in each of these rounds, but they are doing it so phenomenally well.
Yeah, and like kind of a tough ask. We were thinking like, how are you going to deal with the Huddy? But they're doing a really good job. We've seen a couple rounds with just really big kind of damage focus on the Hudson, trying to put the pressure required to take him out. And Lemur being so disruptive with the R&B Max Bishop.
Yeah, I think this Bishop is like one of the biggest things about Oath counter is Bishop. You know, like
Just being
I
able
feel
to like
like
break everything up.
Exactly, and just being able to punch the Oath through the shield. Like you just get to kind of watch the Bishop take out the Oath. And there goes a spike onto Z from Gun. Now Z is down a member for sure. No Wisp, full box. So we'll see what Z does here. They're kind of pinched between both sides of the squad here.
Yeah, looking a little rough. Dylan has the northern angle, trying to pump on the myth. Lemur going to be forced out to the south. Gun is really this kind of death ball, sticking together, rezzing, but things like that, so much damage coming through from the AoE. Game over, almost one tap there. Tarisha putting out big pump with the Zeph nade, follows up, it's huge. Tarisha pumping on the Zeph. Tong trying to counter it, follows through, but it's going to put him in the worst position. Dylan with the Fearless Fury following up. So Z, like you say, Wedel, just too coordinated here.
They are way too coordinated. And I think one of the biggest things for Z is getting Gun to use all these cooldowns and getting them to burn out a lot of their initial abilities. And Z is just able to play, like, I think an easier recovery in a sense, because with Gun, a lot of their, like, you know, Galaxy has to stay by the Hudson in some sense, because the Hudson does not have a lot of movement, you know? So a lot of recovery is unfortunately really hard from this Hudson. But it looks like we just kind of have like a normal standoff here. Galaxy's going to go in with the ult engage. Dylan doesn't hit Dylan. Kind of goes a little wide.
Yeah,
just a lot of poke going out here.
Yeah, and game over looking for the Tong there. Is going to whiff, tries to get the bomb follow-up. Not going to get it through, but still so much damage coming out from Lemur on the south side. Continuing to connect the rocket, having those big rockets just pump. Dylan playing the fire angle. We can see Red kind of push to the bottom left here. Ooh, bomb connects on Maddie, though.
It's very close there. Taricha going down. Wait. Oh my gosh. It's getting. We got a little skirmish going on here in the middle. We got 2v2 here. 2v2.
Oh, the nade.
Playing up. The nade into the wall. Game over. Just Chinese Spy.
Oh,
left.
the nade again.
And another nade. Maddie with the back-to-back nades, blowing them up in the middle there.
Let's go.
These projectiles are insane right now. The lobs are poking out so much damage. Taricha and Lemur with both their lob abilities going over this Oath shield, and then you have Maddie with the ghost nades just blasting people into the walls. Like I said, just the tight close arena really helps this ghost to shine.
Perfect angle and baits them both in. Double nade back to back. You love to see a good ghost nade connect to it. Just like such a cool ability. Super fun to use too. And Red now kind of looking to take a round as this is a match point for Z. They're just looking too clean as they take Reese out there. They're trying to fish for the res, but they take Chinese Spy out during the process. So Reese gonna get rezzed off of the queue from Galaxy Game Boy, but it's not gonna be enough. Chinese Spy is up, but they're still just at 2 members. Galaxy doing all they can to get these wisps up, but Z is just too calculated, too much damage, playing too well together, not letting anything come through. And this is gonna be round 5 to kill Galaxy here, starting it off with a nice 1-0 to the series.
Absolutely insane start to the series. Now, I personally thought Gun was going to have a lot easier time going into Z, but I just think that I think one of their biggest problems is they need to play around this Oath Shield a lot more and playing a little, they look like they put a lot more split. Now, granted, I think it's a lot harder. They kind of had to adjust because there is a lot of lobs. So
I like
Oath
the
Shield
call out of the
necessarily doesn't
lobs, bro.
block.
That's like a really good call out. Like being able to lob the Zeph nade and lob the Bishop R&B actually over the O shield. It can't be really blocked by that. That's like a really good kind of call out and kind of like a little comp diff, right?
Exactly. And with Dylan on top of having that, having the rain of arrows, like you realistically, what are you blocking projectile wise for the most part? You're not really like, you have like the Myth ultimate, right? You have the Shrike ultimate. Did they have Shrike on their team?
Yeah, it's mostly just like autos.
Yeah,
I'm so bad at remembering details.
No, it was Reese.
I live in the present, bro.
It was Reese on the Strike.
There
That's
we
right,
go.
'cause they had the
Hawk.
Bebo.
Yeah, we see the call sign Hawk.
Yeah. And so I don't know if you're what you do if you're Gun here, but I think you can't pick the Oath early on. I really don't think you can pick the Oath early on. The Bishop counter, the Zeph counter. Well, not necessarily the Zeph counter, but I think the Bishop counter is just too much. I don't know.
That's a cool. And it's such a different thing than we've been seeing because the Oath has just been looking so strong and no one's had a real great answer for it. Actually, Hudson's kind of been one of the main answers we've seen, but that time Hudson and Oath on the same team, Z having this strategy, kind of knowing exactly what they want to pick against that comp and it working out really well for him. And I really like, the R&B max from Lemur adding to the value of those lobs like you're talking about. And Tarisha Tarisha looks in like maybe having to sub out here. And so Neff stepping in. I was really liking Tarisha's gameplay there. A couple really solid rounds in match 1.
Definitely, game 1, Tarisha pulled out a wombo combo Zeph nade, almost bringing 3 down in one go. But luckily, like I said, Z also. I think some of these really well arena players are like these people that have played the arena tournaments really well. Understand 1 down is kind of like a look for the res. Somebody has to look for the res angle. You know, like there has to be somebody looking to get a res. Like it's just, and against most of these teams, they're gonna stomp the Wisp, right? Wisps are so important.
Like you have to
Getting the final kill is so important.
You have to like be instantly trading that kill back on someone else, and like you say, if that's not gonna come through, like someone looking for the res angle quickly, because the timer is really what comes into play. Because if you're going for the res angle, other team has the fire, and especially if they look for like another island, you have a very limited amount of time to get that res off and push back in, even if you are able to secure the res. So it's like, yeah, it really puts a lot of pressure on you, like on the back foot like that.
Yeah. And it looks like Gun are going to go with a slightly different approach. They're going with the Felix instead of the Shrike this time. And it looks like they're also Z is going to change up one of their picks and put a Ghost in instead of what did they have? No, they had a Ghost last time. Didn't they?
Yeah, we saw. I think that they had a couple big nades. Yeah, Maddie.
Yeah,
Maddie
you're right, Maddie. Yeah, they're just running back the same composition, and it looks like Gun is going to slightly switch up with the Felix. Could be a good, like I said, I think the Felix is a great counter pick to a lot of these heals.
Yeah.
It just is super strong with the anti-heal. The engage can split up a team fight, and I think with lockdown comp from Gun, they can just, if this Felix can split up the fight, they can just focus 2 down pretty easily, or even just 1.
Yeah, and it's like it's kind of crazy how the arena tempo works. Like you mentioned it with the res thing, but once you have a member down, that really gives you a strong advantage in a lot of situations. So it's like if your comp is focused around isolating a member and getting that quick pick, we kind of saw it in the last series with the way Heights, Brawl, and Conra on the Bishop were isolating, getting that pick and getting the tempo, and then the other team tried to trade back, Lods going to the Jhin, them trying to do it better, almost find the early delete with the Jhin damage and kind of take the same angle. But yeah, there's just like in this kind of isolated 4v4 with no third party, much less of the sandbox to sort of interact with. It's really much harder to recover, yeah, from a 3v4 if you don't trade one back.
No, exactly. And we're starting off with the nice. Oh, this isn't the middle map. Close to the middle map. This is the
Yesterday
north
we
side.
saw a super clean ghost snipe all the way across on the initial glide on this one. I really like that angle here. As Lemur putting out big damage on the Bishop. Dylan getting kind of chunked. Is going to be able to phase walk through the wall. Reese trying to follow up on that Firefox being super impressive, but Neff actually puts out so much damage with Dylan on that Zeph. They're able to trade back, put the Firefox down. Lemur following up on the kill on Chinese Spy, boxes him. So just like that, it's going to be only game over left on the Bebo here.
One of the things we saw right there at the beginning was, I think, Lemur ulted Galaxy while Galaxy was ulting on Lemur, or there was some stun that went out, and Galaxy's ult actually got canceled on the Oath, which looks like it was about to get a crazy stun on Lemur, which would have probably netted them the round, but unfortunately, you know, they got stunned. So I think it was a great, well-rounded play from the entire team.
Yeah, and like, I don't know, Z just looks so coordinated. Even just subbing their Zeph right here. Different Zeph, but still just looking just as clean in that first round. So Gun want to try to find a couple early rounds here, get that confidence built up. And they're still kind of going for this death ball comp. Oh, big Zeph grenade from Neff. Gonna clump that Oath and Hudson together. Galaxy Boy looking for the entry. Abyssal Breaker out, putting out big pressure, but Blue is trading back the damage. Galaxy Gay Boy, one shot. Reese looking to go in on the Fox, but taking so much damage himself. They do get Neff down in the 3v3. Lemur trades back. Reese is down, but they get Maddie, so in a 2v2. So much damage coming out on both sides. The B-bomb is out, trying to get Dylan to play into it. Lemur with the punch. Bebo into the wall, reses through, but it doesn't matter. Too much damage. Chinese Spy trying to trade it back. The Hudson pump. Lemur one shot. So close. Can he get it? Huge heal coming through. That's so big for Hudson. Now Dylan one shot gets the pin. Can he get it? Oh! What a round! Dude. Chinese Spy!
The Hudson, the pick we thought was bad, but the pick that actually won them out that round. Impressive plays by Lemur though. Like, holy cow, he kept bouncing around, moving around, but Chinese Spy, just a better overall, wins out the round. And we're jumping straight into it again. It's just these lobs, I'm telling you.
The lobs, baby,
They do
coming in
so
big.
much. They do so much. Dylan going for a stun, misses out. Galaxy with the Abyssal Breaker going wide. A lot of the ultimates have been used. The Bebo bomb. Ooh.
Reese looking for an entry there, is going to have to back out, getting chunked pretty big. Zethnate out, not going to connect that much. Chinese Spy getting chunked, isolated. Lemur follows up with the punch, not going to let him get away. Dylan, or Maddie, I mean, big laser coming through to lock that in. But Red is up, looking for the res, but it's going to leave game over isolated on the south. So now Red's still down a member despite able to secure that res. And Blue is going to push the issue, forcing the damage, but again, Hudson is going to get a kill through, gets that heal, putting so much damage out of Maddie. Chinese Spy heals again. It's Duke, can he get Dylan? That's 3 for Chinese Spy. Chinese Spy is going absolutely crazy here, Wedel.
Chinese Spy is just proving this Hudson pick is going up to at least C tier plus now. Like,
real,
Chinese
bro.
Spy is so handedly pulling this pick
Oh,
upward.
with the
Lemur coming
ground.
through-
Oh.
Poor
He
Lemur.
just predicted the entry from Lemur there, throws the barbed wire down, grounds him through it. Lemur takes so much damage trying to get in there. But what are you going to do here on the Bishop? Just no kind of angle to get in there. Look at this, just a barbed wire gauntlet with an Oath standing in front of a freaking machine gun, dude.
It's insane, man. It is, the barbed wire is just so unfortunate. I love that there's a lot of things that can just cancel a lot of ults in this game, because like there, the Bebo was going to ult, the Bebo got stunned, couldn't ult out, and you know, this game is just so much fun.
Dude,
man.
it's so
this
good,
game is
bro.
so, it's so good.
freaking
It's
good.
just so good.
And I love
Uh,
seeing like more arena coverage too.
No, 100%. Abyssal Breaker splitting up the fight. Reese puts a line down the middle. They might get this pick early on, but the Zeph ult from Neff, full healing up Lemur there.
Yeah, and they're able to trade one. Reese is down. Dylan's so low, but gets the pin through, so actually not going to be able to lock in that kill. It goes to a 2v4 instead of a 3v3, but this has happened before. The Hudson hero, Chinese Spy, trying to do it again, but not going to be able to get the angle this time. Too much pressure coming out from Z, so Z locking in their second round. So I think we're at a 2-2 here, right, Wedel?
We should be at a 2-2, correct. though I still can't get over it because like even the barbed wire are lobs as well. If you watch it, it lobs up in the air. I just think these lobs are just insane abilities. You know, like this poor Oath, like Galaxy's trying, but a lot of things are just going over his head. You know, playing out. Lemur goes with the punch. Misses. Bebo Cart coming in through the middle. Reese though, it's a big shield from the Felix there, even on just one target.
Yeah, true. And they're getting so much damage out into Dylan. Oh, Lemur follows up, goes behind, gets the double punch, puts Chinese Spy and Galaxy Gay Boy into the wisp. Reese trying to do something to follow up, but just like that, what was looking like maybe a good entry for Gun there gets completely reversed. Lemur like bouncing behind, punches them into each other. Game over looking for a res here, but it's going to be a tough ask against all four members of Z.
Yeah, and it looks, again, like some of these Lemur punches, you know, we're at like a 90% punch rate at this point. You know, I've been keeping track and keeping count. Lemur's hitting some insane punches here.
Stat sheet
You know,
going on over there. Punch
getting
ratio.
some of the. Yeah, every time he whiffs, I just mark it down on like the timestamp so I can just remind him later.
Hey, go look at yeah this.
Go look at 342 approximately in the arena match. It was like round 5. You know. But I will say Z with the insane range, I think Gun, unfortunately, they have to play kind of split, but the range coming out from Z is just blowing up Gun here.
Yeah, and we saw at the start of that round, Z pushing fire and Maddie all on his own, kind of deleting the Firefox in the 1v1 with a really nice nade. So right off the bat this round, Red is at disadvantage. Z just too clean, following up on it. Like so many lobs, just getting the angles behind. Like Oath and Gunner, like really want to play front to back, right? And these guys are just not letting them do it. They're constantly threatening the angles, like getting behind these hunters, like literally Hudson like can't turn when he's RMB'd in, right?
Exactly. And we are in match point for Z. We have the middle map running straight down quickly. Ooh, good old spike out. Chinese Spy happens to the best of us. Lemur going with the punch. These bombs are insane. Ooh, the Abyssal Breaker goes a little too wide there.
Yeah, and Reese looks for an entry of his own, tries to get in, is going to get forced out. Game over, looking for the Tonk Tonk, is going to get one, goes with the Bat Bomb follow-up. Not quite enough damage to take out Neff. Really needed that. Neff trading back with an ulti of his own, going to chunk out Game over. Game over looking for the heal. We see Dylan isolated, but pumping on Reese, wins his 1v1, so Reese is down. Now Red back into the 4v3, but someone goes down on blue. I think someone got spiked. I didn't quite see it there. And so now in the 3v3, Lemur trying to follow up on this Gunner, cannot let this Gunner free fire. He knows it, sees what he's done the 2 rounds they've won. Maddie getting chunked from the south as well. Lemur gets the RMB through, so they're going to get that down, but Galaxy Gay Boy on the wisp. They're trying to follow up with the damage. Dylan, one shot. Lemur half health, but game over with the Tonk Tonk. Gets one through, deletes Dylan. Now in the 2v2 Wedel, it's actually so close, bro.
It's so close, and Gun need a really, really insane engage right here. We got game over. Bebo Carp should be coming up not too much longer now. They need to get a good pick. They can't let this res get. The res getting off on Dylan. This might just close it out.
Yeah, that's huge for Z, and exactly what Gun needed to not happen. Now Gun trying to look for a res angle of their own, but it's going to be a little too late, and this is match point for Z here, so everything on the line. We see them on fire, like forcing the issue. Game over has to make this happen against Lemur, or it's going to be GG here, even if the res happens up north. Overtime, no one actually has the fire. Lemur forced him off, didn't actually let him cap it. I thought it was capped. Wow, and so yeah, just like that, like the Dylan's not gonna get, or Galaxy Gay Boy not gonna get the res through, and so Blue gonna be able to finish it off really clean. So Z taking, I think, yeah, 5-2 there for the first match of this series. Really clean gameplay.
Yeah, no, that was insane gameplay. That was match 2.
Oh, was it? Dude.
Yeah, that Z just
yeah,
went
you're
too
right,
low.
dude. I'm like I said, I live in the present, bro.
You do live in the present. You do live in the present. One of the best things, you know, seeing out from Z's draft is a lot of like, they have a lot of far range poke, but they also have like this area denial. And I think like I said, I just think that the Oath being initially picked gets denied the ability to like block a lot for the team. And with like the lobs and the up top abilities, you know, like Myth Rain of Arrows, you have Ghost Ultimate. You have a lot of these abilities that come down from the sky or go up above the Oath shield. I just think playing the Oath there is a lot harder, but it is a comfort pick. So I know for Galaxy, So
Yeah, and it's like it's hard to sort of, you know, predict that the enemy is just going to have this really clean answer because we've seen Oath be pretty much dominant, you know, in arena still. Like we haven't seen a team come up with a good clean answer, and I think this is really the first comp where we're like, "Oh, this comp is like a really good counter, like with the lobs, like just being able to throw stuff over the shield, being able to, you know, go from the back with Bishop. We saw Lemur getting multiple times behind the Hudson Oath, like punching him in the back into his team. Like those kind of angles really disrupt the kind of front to back, like death ball comp that Gunn was trying to run there. But it was really cool to see the clash of comps and really cool to see Z like coming, you know, prepared, it looked like, with a draft strat, you know, to really put up a strong showing against what they probably expected, you know, knowing Galaxy Gameboy probably going to be on that Oath.
no, exactly. And now we have Z versus BOA. You know, talk
Bro,
about
this is gonna be
in my
hype.
opinion, talk about a little bit of a clash of compositions here. Now there is probably gonna be no Oath. I would assume, maybe not. Maybe we do see Hyde on the Oath. But I would picture the brawl coming out in this one. I don't know. One of my things is I could see. I don't know what I can see. Honestly, there's a lot of different picks that could come out here. I don't know much about Omzor. I don't know if Omzor only plays the Shrike or if there's something else the Omzor can play. But, whew, we could see the Oath from Hype. Maybe not after what we just saw. Could see the brawl. I'd love to see the brawl.
Dude,
Hype brawl is a spectacle to be seen.
yeah, and we saw Hype busting out the brawl. It was like yesterday kind of sticking to the Oath. We saw brawl a little earlier on, but it was kind of maining the Oath and really like a immovable object playing over his wisp, like looking really hard to penetrate like kind of the front line he was putting up with the Oath. But then we saw later in the day shifting to that brawl, and today in the last match we spectated with these guys busting out the brawl. And yeah, Hype's brawl is just a spectacle to watch. It's just, he does things that, like, he literally like canceled a Jin dunk. Like, I've never seen it, but he did it.
Yeah. Okay. So when you guys were watching that, he ulted, and he got hit. He got hit. He ulted at the last second.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So
missed
Hype,
that.
it was like almost watching a master at work. Okay. Like it was like he ulted, and then like he got only momentum shifted. He didn't go down. He went at an angle, similar to how if Brawl Dunk hits you at an angle instead of hitting you straight down.
Oh, right.
It was something like that. And
Gotcha.
so, but this is the finals, isn't it? This is it.
This is
BOA
it.
versus Z. It's a best of 5, isn't it?
If it is the finals, it is indeed a best of 5. And I forget other games are getting played simultaneously while we're covering these ones. And so
Is it okay? So this might not be the end.
I'm honestly not sure. That would be if any sort of
Yeah,
direction.
this is the final.
Okay, there we go.
Okay.
Thank you, Jay.
Okay.
Gotcha. Thank you, Jang.
So best of
Production
5,
has
right?
spoken. This is the final, guys. Just so we know, just putting it out there. Production has spoken.
And
All right, so
Jang,
this is a
any
BO5.
comments you want to have on that? Were you able to watch that last match, Jang?
Yeah, that was wild. I mean, I like the Hudson tech coming out. It's really throwing them off guard.
Those couple rounds that Chinese Bible threw are spicy, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's like the Hudson heal with that heal mechanic now. When he gets the knock, it's like that the amount of damage he puts out, if he's getting multiple of those heals through, it's just so hard to bring him down. Like, I've died to that like multiple times. You're like trying to push Hudson, he's like one shot, but then he kills your friend, and then he's back at half health, and then he looks at you, and then you're dead before you get him to 1 health, and then he's back to half.
I know. I really enjoyed the angles that Z found, especially
Yeah.
with the Bishop.
Yeah.
This is a BO5, right, Jang?
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay, this is gonna be a long haul, okay? Because like, what do you do early on? Do you feel out the other team? Do you feel how they're feeling, like what they want to play? You know, obviously the Myth pick is gonna come out. Myth is just such a strong hunter in general. The Brain of Arrows, the ultimate, it just sets up for you either set up or close out for a team. I think Myth does the best of everything. It's either a closeout or a setup.
Jang, what do you think about the Myth?
I think Myth is really good to play around base camp. Also one of the best sources of anti-heal.
Mm.
Very flexible in any comp.
and just like really able to deliver that consistent range damage. If you have a myth connecting those arrows, it's like that kind of just really steady, reliable, right? Because you can put it out from a really long range, and you can put it out without getting very threatened. But if you are connecting, you know, consistently those long range shots, it just can like put out so much damage. Also really big ability to chunk armor, like big ability to put out kind of that siege damage, like chunking the O shields and thing. You mentioned the anti-heal and zoning from the rain, and I mean, as a myth kind of main myself, probably my most played hunter, I am a huge fan of myth and what she brings to the team, and it's just like such a reliable kind of like carry, right? Like just to kind of provide that backline damage along with like kind of the utility of everything we just mentioned.
Yeah, and you've made one of the best myth guides. Go check it out, guys.
Thank you, bro.
But yeah, if you forget about myth, she's like a mosquito. You cannot forget about myth. She will always be annoying.
Just one bite at a time till you're gone.
Yeah.
No, exactly. And I think one of the things that I guess we're gonna see here is looks like they're just going to run back the comps they were all just playing. Minus the fact that Lemur is going to be on the Bebo instead of the Bishop, because they don't believe that the Oath was coming out, and it didn't.
Yeah, so we got
Even
myth, then Zeph myth, then Shrike Bishop, then Bebo Ghost, then Brawl. Yeah, so looking
Yeah.
looking pretty
No,
like it's gonna be cool because we just saw each of these comps kind of win in their own respective right. So seeing a clash of them facing off against each other, and I think like it's gonna be really cool. I love watching Height and Lemur fight, especially because they have like both have such a deep understanding of this hunter Brawl. It's like really fun to see, even if like Lemur isn't on the Brawl, having, you know, such depth of knowledge on the hunter himself enables you to play other hunters into them much more effectively. And I think, you know, players like Lemur that are like at that level, that's kind of why they are so good, is not only are they really good at these certain picks, but they understand every hunter's kit very deeply, and it gives them the ability to, you know, when he's on the Bishop, maybe, you know, know exactly what Height is looking for after putting in hundreds of hours on Brawl himself, right?
Exactly. And when you play a ton of this game, I don't think everyone's discovered everything about each of these hunters in this game, but for sure you see a lot of the common things that people do on these hunters when you run into them, you know, every time you queue up, every time you're running into them, every time you're fighting them, every time you show up to scrims, every time you play in a tournament, you know, you're getting the repetitions here. So no, we're going to see probably some standard stuff come out. We're going to see some last stands from everybody, and you know, we're going to probably see a lot of lobs this game.
We got a lot of lobs. Wedel loves the lobs.
Dude, I do love the lobs. I only love them because there was one time when we were testing, and they mentioned that they created like a new like a lob mechanic to like make these abilities like really good a long time ago. So
just being able to like go over the top of stuff.
Exactly. I think they made their own custom one. That's why it was really cool to like hear about.
Wait, I actually heard a rumor, bro, that you gave feedback years ago that this should be a trios game.
I did. Well, I'll go more on that later, but we got a match on our hands already. Z knocking down a member right off the beginning. You know, this happened last time. Oh, the people bomb. Woo.
Yeah, looking pretty strong start here for BOA. They are going to get a knock through. Just 2 members left, it looks like, for Z, Maddie and Dylan trying to kite away, but strong start for BOA. So much pressure they're able to put out if they're able to follow up on the Brawl effectively. And like we were talking about, these being random teams, but they've played together for a bit now, having, you know, played multiple arena matches between yesterday and today. We're starting to see the synergy really line up. We saw it last match, the synergy with Z, but BOA in the series before that also kind of building their team synergy, like starting to follow up much more cleanly on the Height Brawl, especially after Height kind of starting on the Oath. Ever since she switched to the Brawl, these guys are looking like much more decisive in their fights.
No, exactly. And the thing is like, you know, Z started off with Rocky started in the first 2 games against Gun. So, you know, I expect them to bounce back just a little bit coming here into these later rounds. But starting off right away, we're getting some insane poke out from Maddie. Maddie's burning down Omzor. Omzor is going to go down. We're going to... Conra is almost going down, but getting out just in the nick of time, and Dylan will drop from Z.
Yeah, I can't believe Conra lived there. It looked like it was going to be even trade, but with Conra able to live, Z Excuse me, Z is at numbers disadvantage. Dude, I've been casting for like 3 days straight.
I love it.
With that, BOA is able to take out another member now, just like last round. Z down to 2. Lemur trying to answer back here on the Bebo is going to get a kill through, but it's not going to matter as BOA pile on the Wisp. Lemur tonking it off though, going for the Wisp, going to catch 2, deletes 1, now 2 Wisp. Lemur stomps him, turns it into a 2v2 off the back of the crazy Bebo play. Has Omzor isolated, going to get 3 here for Lemur. So Height takes out Neff, but Lemur, 3 kills. Can he make it 4 to take out the entire team of BOA basically by himself? Wedel.
Okay, let's find out. This
The
res is
Bebo,
just gonna be a
dude!
bait.
Brian Koala showing up here. Oh!
And he pulls it out. Height, unfortunately, already used the ultimate, so he didn't have the ultimate for the second engage in there to prevent any of the bat damage from going out. And like you said, it's just both of them understand Brawl really nicely, and Lemur's not even on the Brawl. Lemur's on the Bebo, so understanding those timings and what could go off first and the damage is just crazy. Conra with the deep flank, getting the punch out onto Maddie. Maddie is going to drop instantly. Height boxing him before he can even answer the punch.
Yeah, the power of the box is so strong, and I love the kind of double box comp. Conra with the Wisp punch, Height with the ult, able to just instantly delete those Wisps, eliminate any chance of Wisp play, and forcing Z very early on to this beacon. So they're going to try to play beacon double high ground in the 3v4. Height not going to let it happen. Entries onto the beacon, finding the backline. Connor following with the punch. Neff taking so much damage. Dylan as well. Just like that, Lemur last one left. Height following up the dunk, puts him into the abyss. So now BOA taking round 3, putting themselves at a 2-1 advantage here.
Yeah, and I think this is going to come down to, you know, if Height can get these early picks every time, you know, like if we can get these early picks on the Z, I think BOA can just close it out every single time. But it all comes down to these, you know, early picks. Though, Lemur on the Bebo. I never count it out, even if there's 4 left.
There we go. We saw it already. And Dylan going to get sniped there. Gets marked. Huge damage coming out from Omzor. Gets the 2-tap. They're trying to trade it back onto Height. Not going to be able to get it through as Lemur goes down as well. So BOA looking like they're maybe going to take a round 3 here after 2 instant deletes. And you called it out, Wedel. If they're able to get the entry and the delete, it's so hard for Z to recover. And Z has the Zeph. They have the kind of sustain. Oh, but Maddie trying to make something happen here. Almost doing it, but not going to be able to make it happen. Height answering back with the ultimate, puts him into the ground. Just going to be Neff left looking for the res, but not going to be able to do it. So it's like, Wedel, it's almost like with the Zeph on one side and the Brawl on the other, it's like, they're like, BOA has to delete someone. If they don't, Z might win off of the sustain if that Zeph stays alive. Because there's really no heals over here, right? It's the all-in delete comp.
Exactly. And another thing too is like Spades with these condemns, you know, like bringing out the arrow to push like stop the Bebo cart midway. You know, Spades has been hitting a lot of these stuns here. Though there he is again, Height just getting the elimination on to Dylan, and it just brings him down right away. Lemur trying to get Maddie out of there, but I think unfortunately Lemur's gonna meet the same fate that Dylan met early.
They're just looking so clean with the entries. Z has not been able to find an answer yet to the engage. There's just too much kind of burst, too much damage coming through, too much disruption. You know, when you consider Brawl and Bishop together, both of them incredibly good at kind of breaking up like a death ball and just, you know, just blasting everyone apart and causing mayhem. And it's almost like really strong into, you know, this comp that Z is running. They're kind of trying to play a little front to back. They got Lemur, you know, trying to do stuff on the Bebo in the front, but then 3 ranged hunters to try to follow up on that. So they don't have any kind of true melee like the Brawl to just ship it in and force the issue.
No, exactly. And I think like a problem is if they can't even get past these front lines, Omzor on the Shrike is like just back here, just firing away.
Yeah,
Half
and you
HP.
mentioned Spade Storms too, just putting out so much damage.
Spades is hitting some crucial stuns here. Height going in for the initial gauge right away again. Z playing a little more clump this time. Can prevent Height from getting anything crazy right off the rip.
Almost a nade angle.
Height is gonna.
Through.
Oh, he got pushed back. Insane Zephyl out from Neff, healing up Lemur and Maddie there. Spades is down really low. If Z could recover here, I think Z could pull something off maybe. Height is going for another
there
one.
it is.
Oh, Zeph made from Neff, pulls Height in. They get the pick, but they get trade one back onto Maddie. They are going to stay on this res beacon. I don't know how long they can do that.
Oh, there's just so much
That's
damage
going down.
coming through from BOA, man. It looks like so hard to deal with. They do get the pick on height, but it's not going to be enough. And Spadestorms is going to get that pin through with the Tonk Tonk. Like, he pins him out of the Tonk Tonk, I think.
Yeah.
That was kind of a
He's done it like he's
reaction.
done it twice now. He
That's
is
clean,
just hitting
bro.
some of these crazy pushes stuns out of the Tonk Tonk. Though the Tonk Tonk keeps going, almost eliminating 2 of BOA,
Yeah,
which would have been
yeah.
the crucial pick they needed.
Like, if Lemur's in that car, he just bat deletes both those guys at the end of that path, but they both make it out with a sliver off the back of Spadestorms, putting him into the wall with the R&B. Really clean myth play there. But yeah,
No, it
really,
was
yeah, just strong showing from BOA.
No, it was really well played though by Z there at the beginning. They, they were able to get the pick on the hype, but unfortunately, I think BOA after they had to use a lot to get that pick on the height, and BOA just still had a lot of range. You know what I mean? They were still able to
Yeah.
like keep the range at play, and Conra's, poking with the bombs. You have Spades playing with the rain of arrows. Then you have Shrike going out with the bird bombs. It's just, it wraps up just a beautiful bow. It just, they can wrap it up even without height.
Yeah.
Though height trying to get that initial play is very crucial for that.
And it's like the disruption, like as soon as height goes for the entry, everyone kind of has to turn, especially if they're kind of clumped. You have to like turn and account for the brawl. And like while that's happening, you also have the bishop looking for a different angle to do the same exact thing. And then if height gets something good, Conra just instantly turns and ults it. And there's just like that kind of pressure. There's just so much like kind of not only crowd control, but just damage, raw damage coming out from those combos where, yeah, and I feel like Height and Conra especially are really playing like the duo engage of their team really well. And Spadestorms and Omzor are really playing like the range DPS pump well, and they're kind of just doing it, together where they're just such an overwhelming force to deal with.
Exactly. And we're going to see Lemur play the brawl now. Now Lemur is on the brawl. So we are going to see Lemur on the brawl instead of the Bebo this time. So we are going to possibly see this brawl 1v1. I was going to say, what does Z do to counter the brawl? But I think you can only counter the brawl with the brawl.
That might be the play. I missed the draft. Did they draft a brawl? Is that what you just said?
Yeah, Lemur's playing. I think Lemur is on the brawl.
Let's go.
I think we're gonna see the Lemur brawl. The height Lemur. It'd be cinematic. We get to round 9, the deciding round, and Lemur and Height, full HP, both ready to fight, and seeing who wins it.
That's the
Cinematic
situation where like
masterpiece.
each army like sends out their champion. The other 3 just stand back in the spawn and they just let Height and Lemur duke it out in the 1v1 for the final round.
Exactly. We get like that'd be a fun one to watch. Like in Fragpunk, in the final thing, you like do like this duel where you if you are in a tiebreaker round, it's kind of like a shootout in like soccer. You have to like duel other people in the final round of the arena. So like, for example, if I'm the first one to duel, if I kill my opponent, then I face the next opponent, then the next opponent until they kill me, and then it keeps moving down the list. So imagine like a mode where it's like, that would be so cool if they did something like that, like Fragpunk did, where it's like you have to a tiebreaker is decided by duels.
Yeah, that sounds spicy. It also reminds me a
It
little bit
does.
of like those Pokemon battles we did like way back.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about. Those were really fun to do back in the day. I remember this. But it is looking like a familiar comp from BOA. They didn't really change anything up. Like I said though, Z is changing it up, going with the brawl this time instead of with the Bebo. Initial engage looked good from Hype, but took a lot of damage from the rip. We are going to see the Zeph ult going out right away from Neff, but it does not get the pick onto Omzor. Conra going in for a spicy engage. Maddie throwing out a nade, almost getting the kill. The ult goes a little too close inwards, and Omzor is going to go down. Lemur is taking the 1v2 over here and winning. It's looking really good for Z here.
Yeah, Z off to a strong start, but actually Height is going to trade one back, so it might be turned into a 3v3 if they can't get this Wisp. It is. Conrad really low, Spadestorm's really low, but still up. Z really needs to finish off these two on the right. They're trying to deal with the brawl, but really big ult coming through from Neff on the Zeph. Gets to delete. They finish off Connor on the south. Now just going to be Height here. So after what was looking like a little bit of a shaky match one, Z with the brawl pick of their own out to a really strong start here.
Yeah, I just watched the mana bar of Dylan's just fly upwards after he, like, I think he got out of combat or was standing still for a second. I was gonna say they're out of no mana, but their mana regen just
Yeah.
his bar just started filling up like water. I was like, oh, never mind. They got the mana, they got the resources.
As someone who's been around the game for years, what do you think of the mana change?
I don't know. I think that the mana change can be good in some aspect. It can like force you to think about what you're doing. But dude, Neff with these Zeph ultimates are
Actually
just
pumping.
like, it's just throwing out banger after banger. Though, Maddie's still alive. They can't get the res here. This Wisp should be able to be rezzed. I don't think Height can get to it. Wait, Connor with the ult engage, but Lemur with the slice and dice. I don't even know if that's what it's called, but I'm gonna call it that.
Xing Xing.
And he exactly, Xing Xing gets the kill onto Conra, but Lemur could go back in, get some nasty kills right here. Is gonna engage back in, gonna find the pick onto Omzor, instantly box. BOA is down to 2, and almost Z is gonna be down to 2 now, but BOA is a lot lower. Lemur has to look for something here before they get caught back up in health.
Yeah, these rounds are so close. Now we have the Brawl Myth versus the Brawl Myth. It's an exact mirror, Wedel. Height looking for the entry here, trying to put out big damage, but they're trading it back. Height with the ult, but it's going to get countered. Lemur puts him into the ground, boxed. Spadestorms get the kill through on Dylan. Big heal up. Lemur needs to finish this, but again, Spadestorms with the monster R&B puts Lemur back into the wall. Spadestorms needs to buy a second, try to rip a pot, and heal up. Might actually be out of pots, is not ripping one. Instead, goes Virides Fury, wants to get Lemur off of this Wisp. Dylan coming back around the pillar, trying to get that angle. Anti-heal out with the rain. Spadestorms goes to a box, finds some Viper, needs to heal up. Now, gonna be in the 1v2. Wedel gonna be way harder to pull off here.
Yeah, but you know, if I could see someone doing it, I could see Spades pulling some crazy plays here.
Gonna have
Could
to make
end
a
up
miracle
happening.
happen.
He gets the stun into the wall. Now we are back into the 1v1 here. He gets through the wall, but Lemur is about to end the game with the base camp capture, or in the round. with the base
Wow.
camp capture.
Dude, so the macro comes through from Z, but BOA putting up a crazy round there. Actually, he's just scrapping to the very end. I thought Spadestorms was about to do something crazy. Might have with a little more time. What a round.
A little more HP, one extra pot might have done it for Spades.
Yeah, I think if he
But-
wasn't out of pots, instead of having to go to that box, it would have looked like a different fight, right?
No, exactly. But this R&B, not even just the ultimate from Brawl, this R&B execute is just so strong. You'll just see like Lemur engage into a lower person here and just be able to get the easy execute. Maddie already going low really fast. BOA also already going low. Gonna have to use a lot of their pots up very early on, or their Vibers very early on.
Yeah, Conrad kind of caught out here, is going to be floating on, gets on top of the box. Height tries to follow up to help him out, but they're just going to turn on him with no support. Goes down in the 3v1. Spadestorms and Omzor are trying to pump that damage, but Dylan just steps behind the wall, heals up, basically negates it. Now Lemur trying to follow up, putting out the pressure. Neff with him puts down Omzor, so it's just going to be Spadestorms left again. Just kidding, Blue got one out. So Connor actually on the res angle, going to get it off. Plenty of time here. Well, not plenty of time. 30 seconds. It's going to be a hard push to fire here. Oh, I thought he was gonna maybe pull and get on it. So Spadestorm's still alive to the north here, Wedel, while the other three of blue push up.
Lemur is gonna recall out, get closer to that bit, get back closer towards the base camp again. Spade stepping on the base camp. Dylan putting out the rain of arrows to deny the coverage. Connor going for an insane punch, hitting it onto Dylan. Dylan will dash on his way out. It looks like Z is also trying to get the res off, but they currently own the base camp. Yeah, they currently own the base camp. They are going to be down one, so Z is going to be fighting a little bit of an uphill battle here. I think it's going to come on the backs of if Lemur can get an execute here, and he does get one out. It looks like he's going to be able to get another two. Z coming back through.
Wow.
Pulling it out. It's just Height left. What can he do? And the round ends going over to Z again.
Z just like almost kind of has a macro answer on the strategy level, just playing the fire angle, like really intelligent call to go for that res, right? Knows they have time to keep the fire. They're not, BOA is not going to have time to cap that. And they come back with 3, actually fight the 3v4 very well there, able to turn the whole round around. And now Z off to a really strong start here, multiple rounds, like kind of locked in for them in this next match.
No, exactly. And a lot of the area denial on the base camp is so strong from Z. Oh, and Spades is going to get spiked. That's an execute of its own. Will Height survive? No, Height will go down. And Z is down to just 2. Connor getting the res to the south, and Lemur is going to chase Omzor up to the north. Poor Shrike doesn't know what's coming for them, as there is a wild brawl on the loose.
And we saw Z like having a really good comp answer in their last series. They're kind of doing a similar thing here where they kind of, you know, saw the missing piece of the puzzle in that first match, and they're like, maybe brawl is the answer. They mix it up, and it's looking really strong here. Lemur basically able to counter what Height is trying to do by doing the same exact thing to BOA. And so it's like that kind of answer to BOA's comp is kind of looks like, you know, check, and it's going to be up to BOA now if they're not able to pull something back here to answer with maybe a comp, you know, change of their own.
This Neff with the Zeph nade. It's just crazy to say. Flying out with the ultimate behind that, just putting out tons of damage. Height in there. Height gonna go down. Lemur gonna swipe through, clean up Height again. They're gonna have the base camp area denial again. That's gonna be able to go out because of their composition. Oh. Man, Dylan with the RMB on Myth, securing that kill for them, just wraps up the round.
Yeah, so many big miss stunts coming through. It's actually crazy. And like you mentioned, the more terrain being on the arena maps, more angles for the pin, and that stun being so strong, like 1 or 2 myth arrows to follow that up just can absolutely delete you. And we've seen Spadestorms doing it. Now Dylan answers back with an army of their own. Height looking for the entry on the north side. Z doing a really good job playing around Height. They look for the entry, they defend, and they try to catch him in a CC delete. We've seen him do it multiple times. Height maybe finding an angle here. Z kind of caught off guard. They're going to play together left. Height looking to heal up a little bit. There is Omzor on the fire, so they're fighting in a bit of a 3v4 here, buying time for Omzor to get him that armor. They do get it. Neff getting a bit chunked here, has to go back through the rain, throws out the ulti, trying to save. Lemur is going to get the kill onto Omzor, so they have 1 down. Dylan down as well, looking to play around that wisp, but big damage from Connor, and the RMB forces all of them off now into 3v2. BOA looking like they're going to be able to take a round here. Height going back to play the fire, making sure they're not going to get timed out like has happened on previous rounds. Connor runs down Zeph. Now Lemur again, last player left here, going to try to make something happen, but cannot do it. So there we go, Wedel. BOA showing up with a round.
BOA take 1. You know, BOA took game 1.
Right, which is weird because of how kind of this match has been looking, right?
Exactly. BOA dominated match 1,
right,
you know.
Right.
And so here we're coming out. Height already with the spicy engage coming through. Lemur doing the exact same thing here. Lemur having to play a little bit safer. Same with Height. Looks like Dylan's gonna go. Oh, Neff coming in with the clutch heal, but Height is going to take Dylan and put him into a wisp form. Lemur could potentially save Dylan here, getting a pick out. Height getting out to heal. Lemur gonna go for the kill onto Connor in the backline. Finally able to get it. Height gonna finish off Neff here, and it's just Lemur again. BOA getting close to taking another round on Z.
Yeah, kind of finding the answer, like kind of maybe positioning around Lemur's brawl a little more, taking a book or a lesson out of Z's book, playing around the Height brawl. BOA's like, hey, we got to defend against this Lemur entry. When he comes in, we're going to turn. We need to get the CC. We need to bait out the ultimate. Like all the things you want to do to kind of stop the brawl engage from being effective. And we see 2 rows in around there where they're able to shut down the Lemur brawl a little better, and the Height brawl is getting a little more value through.
No, exactly. I think one thing too is underestimated. Omzor's anti-heal. Little underestimated on the Shrike. I think a lot of people always look past that, though. I think Omzor's shooting a little too early. The anti-heal is insane with that bird bomb, or with the bird coming out. But Lemur is going to go down really early. BOA just taking an early lead up against Z here, knocking down 2 of their members already, and you know Dylan's already on the move to the beacon.
Yeah, gonna go for this res, but if BOE kind of reads this, I think Height probably knows he's going, yeah, so Height going to be on the move here. So much mobility on that Brawl, going to cover this distance, doesn't even care about the range, shifts through it, has plenty of time to push onto this peak, and going to be a huge ask for Dylan to pull this off. Omzor here now following up with a strike in the 3v1. Dylan going to get taken out. So just like that, BOA all of a sudden looking like they did in match 1.
No, exactly. And BOA bringing this to, are we, I wish we could see, but
I think it's
I think
3-3.
we're 4, is it 3-3?
I'm pretty
Okay.
sure 3-3.
3-3 here, yeah. Then this is already a tight match. BOA are finding their ability to be able to play this. Height going in with an initial engage again. Height getting down to half HP, does use the ultimate, doesn't get a kill. Conrad with the punch onto Neff, already putting down in Wisp form, and BOA are down 1 as well.
Yeah, Dylan one shot. Omzor looking to finish, but he goes right into the arms of Lemur. That looks like something I do, just shifting forward for the kill. Blood in my eyes, getting deleted by the Brawl right in front of me. Lemur continuing the pressure onto BOA. Now BOA down 3, Z down 3, Z playing around Omzor's Wisp, not going to let the height come through. Are not going to let the res come through. Height looking for the fire. Lemur pushes onto it, so they don't get it. They don't get the armor. They trade one, though. Lemur one shot, misses the grapple. It's huge, but Maddie trades back on the left. Lemur needs to live here. Isn't going to be able to. Height was one shot, not able to take him out. Maddie needs to finish this right now, or it's going to be such a tough thing to accomplish in the 1v2 against the Brawl Bishop. Not going to be able to do. There's such a close round, but just like that, 4 rounds in a row to buggy Oath abusers without an Oath anywhere in sight.
Yeah, and you know, watching Omzor dive in there is like me watching Shrike Jordan play Shrike. You know, it's just like getting in there, being aggressive, trying to pull off the insane plays, but unfortunately couldn't pull it out, being in the face of the Brawl there.
Yeah, and like that's like so hype with the Shrike gameplay, like the shift forward, like you know if you're shifting forward, it's like you're gonna finish and you're gonna do something crazy or you're just gone. And we basically see that happen there. You gotta respect the confidence. Lemur with some confidence, shipping it in with a grapple. Huge nade from Maddie, puts multiple members back. Connor's isolated now, trying to finish it off, but Height has Dylan ISO'd on the south as well. Z is gonna be able to force out Height. And he's going to be able to recover. Dylan still one shot, needs to get some heals through. Height looking to follow up on it. Huge pin from Dylan, puts him into the wall. At the same time, though, Conrad follows up to the right, is going to take out Dylan there. They're playing around the Wisp, going to knock it out. Height gets out, going to be able to heal up. So now, 4v3, Lemur with the slam, putting out Conrad, puts him in a box. Ult comes through huge. Omzor's about to die, so just like that, the 4v3 is the 3v2 in the other direction. So much damage coming out from Z here, refusing to die. Do not want to let this second match go BOA's way. They need this round. Lemur trying to finish off Brawl, or Height is going to get away here. Spade Storms is going to show a little bit of breathing room, Wedel, but what a sequence.
What a sequence indeed, and Z really need this clutch out right here. We would be going to 4-4, I believe, if they can pull this off. It is just Spades left. Like I said, if anyone could do it, Spades can do it. It might be a little hard here, though, unfortunately, with the amount of range and melee that Z have to be able to pull off to finish it out.
Yeah, so just like that, we have a banger.
No, that was
Oh,
that was it.
That was it. You were right. Yeah, so they were up 4. So, like, yeah, really nice round from Z there. Like, BOA on the 4-0 run, though, trying to come back. It was looking like Z was going to have the sweep. BOA refused to die, looking much more like they did in match 1. But in the end, Z able to close it out. And that's really big from Wedel, because if that goes BOA's way, so much harder to come back from the 2-0.
Exactly, and now we're on a 1-1. Z, BOA taking match 1, Z taking match 2. I wonder if your BOA, if you just keep going the same thing, and if you're Z, do you possibly change something? I know Z just won, right? Don't get me wrong. I don't know if there's anything Z could actually change up that might actually benefit them, because BOA, I think after dominating round 1 and almost winning match 2 based upon the same composition, I don't think BOA changed, but I don't know if Z will change anything at all either.
Yeah, because it looked like, you know, that round was way more even than kind of the first match we saw, where they were rocking the different comp with Lemur on the Bebo. And so I do think the Brawl answer was looking good, and it's just making it such a close match. Like, so many super close rounds there. And like early on, if Z was able to close out one more, you know, it would have looked like really one-sided in the 5-0, but all of a sudden BOA puts together a 4-round streak, like basically, you know, showing that they can execute this comp into anything that Z puts against them. And they've kind of like haven't changed their comp in a hot minute. They were even running this in the last round.
No, yeah, and we're just running the comps straight back. We are running I think what they are going to look here is BOA I think saw that they do have potential, that they could easily win against Z here, but Z also showed that they can win against BOA with the composition. So if we're running back these compositions, it's just going to come down to a matter of who plays it better, you know? Who is the best, like, because like at this point we know what the weaknesses are, we know what the strengths are of each composition. It just comes down to, how does this brawl perform? Can we pick the brawl on both sides? Who can do it first? And if we do it, did we use a lot of utilities to pick off this brawl?
Right, and it's like so much is revolving around the brawl equation for both sides. Like literal two best brawls in the game probably facing off against each other. The team trying to do their best to play around him and form the strategy around him. And I really love, you know, the answer from Lemur. And I like a match like this, Wedel, where like you're saying, you know, you kind of have this. It's like you have the meta side of things, the comp side of things sort of out of the way, and we're just going to get a purely execution based game. We know from last round that these teams are very, very closely matched. These comps are very, very closely matched. So like you say, going to be completely down to execution. So we're going to basically see who are the better players here working together with each other to take match 3 in this best of 5. And this one, bro, is super important because this puts you on match point for the entire series.
Exactly. And like you mentioned initially, BOA have to play this like engage pick right off the rip, because Z does have the sustain. Z does have the Zeph. And Neff is pulling out some insane plays on the Zeph today. Like Neff is on top of their performance today. Like this is Neff peaking right here.
And it's
Lemur,
hilarious they've had 2 Zephs too, sorry.
Exactly. No. And Lemur trying to go with the chain there, getting pulled into the wall. Ooh, almost a pick out in the spades. Conra almost going down as well. Yeah, this is BOA taking too much damage here, I think. Interesting ultimate coming out from Conra. It moved a little weird, but I do get how it was going over the wall, trying to get past Lemur there. It does look like BOA got to recover just a little bit.
Yeah, Lemur getting chunked out there. They are going to be able to get Neff there, though. So Height looking for the entry off of that knock, and it's just going to be such an overwhelming amount of pressure. Gets the ult through on the Dylan instantly, just like that. Only Maddie left for Z. So another decisive round coming through for BOA. It was a lot of posturing, but right there, after the Conra ult, when Omzor was able to chunk out Lemur had to come back and heal. They got the knock on the Zeph because Brawl had to basically bail. And then right there, Height looks for the entry down from the north. Really clean round.
No, exactly. Yeah, like I said, Neff is doing some insane work on this Zeph, so they do really have to look for that pick early on. Dylan's gonna go down right away, but Neff's gonna throw out the ultimate to get the res going off, but it doesn't even matter because Height is gonna use the ultimate to instantly box Z down a member. BOA getting one taken down from them, but Height does get the ultimate back to be able to take and box Neff as well, and it's just Lemur on their squad.
Height coming out with a vengeance here. He looks angry this match. He is like just putting out so much pressure onto Z. It's looking like overwhelming for them. They're really trying to handle it, but like Height kind of knows their strategy now, right? It's like he knows they're going to be looking for him to come in, and they're going to be looking for him to blow his ultimate, and then they're looking for the crowd control. Now he's not blowing his ultimate, right? So he's kind of reading the read, making the adjustment, and being able to put out so much pressure. If he holds that ult, you basically any CC you're going to be able to catch him in is kind of void, because he can just ult it out, and so that stops you from throwing that CC. But if you're not throwing CC, the Brawl is just free firing with the Xing Xing.
Exactly. And you know, Conra with some of his initial like nade pokes, just getting Height the ability to look for the execution onto one of the members of Z. Lemur is like looking for spades each of these times, trying to get the pick on the spades, maybe even Conra. Unfortunately, Conra is able to just get out, and Z are at the mercy of BOA right now. Lemur too far away to get back caught up with the team. Lemur is looking for the play on the spades. One of the members of Z does go down, Maddie, but they might be able to get the res off here if they can get the wisp out. BOA is recovering. Conra with the insane punch onto Dylan, knocking Dylan out of there. Lemur going with the full stomp here. Z down 2 members. Or Height going with the full stop there, and it looks like Z is going to go down another round here.
Man, BOA just looking so clean. Like Z was looking so clean, but now BOA just like almost has an answer. These are like the 4-round streak we saw before. Height, you know, just continuing to put out so much pressure. But yeah, Conra, really nice punch there to follow up, and it's just like Z has to figure out how to shut down this tempo from BOA because it's just looking too oppressive. And shout out to Jang mentioning the mosquito myth. Spadestorms that time just poking so much. So off to a bit of a damage start here, but Z going to be just fine. Dylan healing up on the right, kind of posturing. Lemur looking for the entry, is going to miss the dunk. Height looking for the entry of own, misses his dunk as well. So a trade of cooldowns there. Lemur looking again, going to find Height on the flank. But Rain's coming out on both sides. Conra in. Oh, it gets the punch through.
Conra with the insane punch, instantly knocking and taking them straight to the box. It is going to be, oh my gosh, I was about to say it's going to be a 3v3, but now it's going to be a 2v3. Height is down. This is possible. Lemur could pull out a potential win here with Neff. Can they just need to be able to find that first pick onto them. But Conra with the insane poke, Spades with the insane poke. Lemur just does not get the opportunity to heal. They are going to allow it this time. Omzor is going to look back for the res, got the base camp. Z are just playing their time here, trying to look for a potential engage to be able to get a pick onto BOA. Neff's ult going a little too wide, and it's just going to come down to Lemur. Looking like BOA are going to be up 4-0 against Z. This is what I was saying, Zach. I honestly thought, even though Z won, they were going to have to shift something up. Because of that 4 run by BOA. Honestly, that just made me look like, hey, they can win against this super easily. They proved it. We need to switch something up. Lemur going in with the initial engage, just going right away, being able to get the pick onto Spades, instantly boxing. Z just need to recover here and just chase down BOA, not allowing them to get the res off.
Dude, you mentioned last round
in.
Lemur hunting for Spadestorms, and he like hasn't been able to get it through. Like Spadestorms playing, like holding his shift, knowing that Lemur is trying to hunt him. But that time, Lemur basically takes a page out of Height's book. Like Height's been instantly shipping in with the tether every time. Lemur does the same exact thing, puts Spadestorms in such a bad spot, and they're able to follow up on the pressure. Now this is Z's round to win here.
Exactly. And Z could easily pull off a nice win here, or we could see a masterclass come out from Height and or come out from Height.
We see some recalls coming.
But they did get the res off, it looks like. So the team is going to come back through. Z does have the better advantage here with the base camp, with Lemur being able to get in there onto Spades again. Now Lemur is going to be chunked out to half. It looks like Height is going to engage onto there, but the stun coming out from Dylan, pushing him into the wall. Neff going to go down. Lemur going to look in on the engage on the Spades, and it is just down to Omzor. Z's going to have all their members up here in a second. Omzor looking to see what they could do, but unfortunately going to be taken out by Lemur's Brawl. And finally, Z take a round on BOA.
Yeah, and Z basically need to do that 4 more times. Lemur needs to go super high pressure with the Brawl. He needs to instantly put pressure on Spadestorms, not give him a second to breathe, a second to put out any damage. Because anytime Spadestorms is free firing, there's just so much damage coming out from that myth. It is too much for the Zeph heals to deal with. Conra over the top of the box with the Bishop looking for Maddie isolated. Lemur does go in instantly, does put out that big damage on Spadestorms, but the 2 ranged members pumping Lemur for so much damage has to peel out. One shot, Height looking to follow up. Brawl, he gets the reverse tether though. Lemur able to live while Height goes down. Spadestorms playing for the West while the other 3 of Z go on to Conra. Now in the 3v3, but they're going to get Height up. Z has to stop this res. It's so crucial. They don't. Height is back up and Lemur is going to get put into a box. And so just like that, what was looking like maybe such a good round for Z is actually going to turn into the 5th round for BOA. And they close out match 3 at a 5-1 victory.
Yeah, just a phenomenal performance from BOA. They knew exactly what to do. They knew exactly how to play it. You know, they were able to get a lot of denial on Lemur. They were able to keep Spades alive a lot longer every single time. You know, even with that 1 round, Lemur got the pick onto Spades. They were able to get away and get the res off. So I think if you're Z here, you are having to shake something up. You have to look for something different, maybe that could deny. I don't even think deny the Brawl at this point. I think you have to deny the Bishop. I think the Bishop is so strong. I think you need to look for something that could deny that. Maybe even something that could go in with the Brawl. Maybe your own second engage tool that's much stronger to go in with Brawl. Like maybe a Felix. Like
what about a Bishop of their own?
Strong. Their Bishop of their own could be good too. I don't know if you want to necessarily mirror matchup. It's hard. So when you play, the thought process of mirror matchup is like Conra is a Bishop player, right? I'm not saying anyone on BOA can't play Bishop, but what I'm saying is that mirror matchup playing is very it's very wishy-washy because if you lose, you know, you're risking it, right? They're on match point, BOA win, or yeah, BOA win if they win here. You're on match point, and if you're Z, you know, you're on the chopping block. You lose if BOA win this. So I think you either play really strong comfort, everyone's comfort, or I think you maybe get someone on that Felix. I don't know what you would trade out. I think you'd want to keep the myth in the brawl, maybe, but it's very tough to say. Everyone's performing really well on Z.
Yeah.
Maddie, Neff, Lemur, and Dylan. But unfortunately, I think BOA just have a better execution in terms of composition.
Yeah, and I get your point where it's like Conra being really practiced on the bishop. Like if you try to lock in the mirror back at him, it's like you better be just as proficient on that bishop, kind of like the brawl mirror, right? Where it's like really like maybe one of the few people that could match the height brawl is the lemur brawl. But like,
exactly.
you know, it's like I totally get what you're saying, where if you're going to lock in the mirror, you really want to have that hunter proficiency, because if there is kind of a gap in skill, it's really going to shine through in a situation like this, just isolated 4v4 after 4v4. So we see draft getting started here. BOA height grabbing Myth Shrike, and then Myth Ghost back on the side of Z. And so going to be, you know, our double Myth back in play. The Myths have been super effective, Wedel. We've seen both Myths pumping a lot of damage. That time on the round where Z won, Dylan had a clutch R&B pin on height before he was able to even get the ult off, I think, into the pillar. So like those are the kind of plays, you know, that Z is going to have to pull off here if they want to take this next match.
Right, and they are going to actually substitute out the brawl this time. Z is going to go with the bishop instead of the brawl. So I think here, this is like, I think this is still fine, because like one of the things I was saying, like Lemur's bishop, I don't know if it's at the level of Conra's, right? I've seen Lemur's bishop, right? But I know Conra is a really strong arena bishop player, 100%. Probably one of the best. Like I'd put a top 3 for sure. The thing is I think Bishop's like the bomb is so strong, so oppressive. Area denial is so huge, and the empowered rockets direct hit do so much damage that I think that's why it's so strong with the brawl, is because it comes down to, like, you know, Spades is also playing Myth. Myth is really good for either ripping the ult off the rip or using it as an execute, right? Either way, Jang, when I played Jang, always would rip it right away from me, and then I'd go in, and then they would be low, and I'd chunk them out. I think the same thing could go with height. Same thing with Bishop. You know, a lot of these hunters that they're playing benefit brawl. Like, they're just like an accessory to brawl. Like, Hudson wouldn't do so well because Hudson's not, you know, being able to do like that long range initial damage, right? For brawl to engage upon. I think a lot of the picks here, you know, they coincide. They're like have a really good relationship with brawl here. Now I know also Omzor is playing the Shrike, but comfort pick there.
You mentioned that synergy, bro. We've seen actually such good synergy kind of develop over the course of this tournament between Conra and Height. They're working so good together on the Bishop Brawl. Conra's so good at following up on Height, and if Conra gets someone low with a punch, Height really good at following up on that. So yeah, like layering that amount of like entry and damage and disruption is just so oppressive, and we can see a team as strong as Z having a really hard time dealing with it.
Yeah, and Lemur's going to go with the initial ult, try to get the punch out. It looks like Dylan already ripped the ultimate. They are going to, looks like they could get the pick onto Height, but they did not. But they got the pick onto Omzor, but Lemur and Neff are both going down. It's just going to come down to Dylan and Maddie, but Height is getting the healed up on the base camp. They do have the green armor. Dylan is retreating out just a little bit, but unfortunately it looks like he's going to be taken down by Height, and it's just down to Maddie. No mana, unfortunately, going to be taken out by Spades.
So unfortunate for Z there. They thought they had Height down. He was literal just one shot, such low health. And Spadestorms and Connor did such an insane job kind of guarding that choke as Height makes his way out. I think Z gets a little bloodthirsty, overcommits, and just takes so much damage in the pursuit of that brawl. Height is able to make it out with 1 health, and in the process, Z lose multiple members. So again, BOA showing up with a strong start here. Really good round 1. Can they repeat in round 2? Putting out big damage, but Omzor getting chunked in the top. Big pin into the wall on the south. Maddie gets pinned, but the napalm is out. They trade it, so Connor is down. Spadestorm's about to be down here. Bird bomb out from Omzor, not going to connect. So just like that, Z at 4-2 from BOA down. Height super early peel out, looking for that res, but Lemur on the Bishop, going to be able to close this gap, while the other 3 of Z looking to hunt down Omzor. And the R&B Impulse going to be really hard to stay on this beacon.
Yeah, and, you know, taking out Omzor, almost losing one, totally fine. They got the 2v2 going out here. It is going to be kind of hard against against the Brawl. The Brawl is really strong, but I think all Z up. I think this should be a closed out round for Z.
Yeah. I love like the ghost spike, because I've been playing a lot of Ghost. The ghost spike is even on land. It's just like so juicy because it just comes out so fast. Even like that, a really practiced Brawl looking for an entry. Like hunters that really lean into the schmoove tech, like Brawl for example, with like the shift glide and stuff. Really easy, not easy, but it's fun to try to catch them with the ghost spray. You see Maddie doing it there. Height actually just living forever here.
Yeah, no, Height is just showing off some of this movement here. That'd be insane if, you know, they were all like half HP. Height goes in, just pops out the ult, and just somehow like shows them all with the volcanic eruption. I think is the ability is called.
Sounds right. Volcanic rebuke.
Sounds right.
I think.
Volcanic rebuke. Thank you. No, I think I was like trying to remember what it's called. Wow, I just look how far Lemur blasted himself right off the rip. He just got to where he wanted to be right away. He's gonna pop the ultimate right on the spades. You know, even not on the Brawl, looking for the spades each and every time. Neff was going out with the Zeph ultimate, but unfortunately gets knocked before gonna happen. Maddie gets the laser kill onto Spadestorm, knocking him down. But Maddie going deep into the line.
Dude, it was looking like such a strong start off of that entry from Lemur 4Z, but just like that, BOA trades 2 back, but the bomb punch, bro, is going to get Omzor Conra positioning around the Wisp, but they force Height out on the right. They are going to be able to push this Wisp angle. Now Conra kind of in the 2v1, Height looking to follow up. He is going to get the entry behind Lemur, does get the ult delete, so instantly traded back 2v1 now. BOA side just going to be Dylan left on that myth. They get Omzor up, so now huge number advantage and really nice round coming through from BOA, again kind of reversing what was looking like a nice start to the round from Z.
Exactly. BOA up 2 here. I think Z, I know Z has 1. Do they have 2 on them?
I think 2-1 is where we're at.
2-1. So, okay, so BOA up 2-1 against Z here. Yeah, Z is looking really strong with some of these initial engages. Unfortunately, not being able to get the full picks onto the teams is really hurting them. That punch into the nade, knocking back. Hai has to waste the ultimate here to stay alive. Oh, Lemur with the Bishop ultimate going into the punch, but gets stunned by Connor's counter ultimate, getting knocked there, almost getting the kill on the Spades.
Yeah, such a close battle here every single round. And like Z, every time Z gets behind, they're really early to peel and look for a res angle here. We see multiple members going out and, or sorry, I just got thrown around. BOA is actually in the lead. So Z actually is the ones going for the res, and they're up here. Height looking to stop it. He is going to push Dylan off of it here. Dylan trying to play the rain angle, force the issue, but Brawl not going to let it happen. Oh, so Neff takes out Conra. Dylan and Height still kind of in this 1v1. There's actually so much happening here. I don't know who's winning, Wedel.
Well, it looks like Z actually might be pulling out the win here because Dylan was able to live really long against Height. Z are up 2 members here. Height is going to recall. Lemur's going to probably channel out the punch, but it's going to miss, obviously. Height's going to get a nice little dash away. Height's going to, really close to the kill on the Lemur. Height still has the ultimate, maybe? I didn't know if he used it there or not. It's going to get the slice and dice, my new favorite name for that ability. Omzor with the double bird bomb, getting the stuns onto Z, putting the bird bomb back out there again, getting the stun onto Neff. Height does no health, and Z, again, with their insane macro play, take off the win here.
Yeah, looking like a scary round that they are able to put it to 2-2, but off of the kind of timer there, Omzor and Height looking scary in the 2v3. Just so much pressure coming out from these hunters on BOA. Everyone just like super dialed in, just connecting everything.
Yeah. When is Bishop Bomb gonna be able to like res with?
Res, yeah. Yeah, I don't know why Devo gets a sentient bomb and Bishop doesn't. What's this about?
Exactly.
Where's the ghost nade res?
Oh my gosh, that stun back into the rain of arrows, into the Bishop ultimate from Conra, knocking Neff, Maddie low, Dylan low. They're all split up so far away from each other, and it's just Lemur, unfortunately. And, you know, this should be a BOA round, having all 4 members up. A nice clean ace coming out from BOA here.
Spadestorm's going for the 720 there. Does connect it looks like. And BOA, man, they're just so, their tempo is so good. When they find an opening, they just all push in and like put out so much damage pressure that even the rounds where Z wins, it kind of looks like they're on the back foot still. You know what I mean?
No, exactly. And I think Lemur isn't jumping too far. Oh, Lemur coming out with the ultimate. Gonna go wide, gonna miss. Connor still has the ultimate. Connor's been really holding his ultimate for counter engage like this exact. Ooh, slightly misses, but it's fine because Lemur's gonna go down anyways. BOA gonna be able to. They're gonna get a pick. They're gonna trade. BOA down to 2 left. 3v2 here.
Dude, Maddie doing work on the north side, takes out Omzor, gonna take out Spadestorms as well. So now Z and on the bottom, Dylan is gonna eliminate. Oh no, just kidding. Height full bail down to this bottom island. A minute left, might have just enough time to pull this off. Is gonna be on top of the res. Does have a lot of space. Is gonna get the res off, but it is gonna be a tough ask. About 40 seconds here for Buggy Oath Abusers to try to push back into Z.
Yeah, honestly though, if you're Z, like I'm surprised they're not at least somewhat ledge guarding. I guess it's really hard. I wouldn't either, maybe because you want to have height advantage by the initial standard. So it looks like they're just gonna opt into a height advantage, play the base camp vision.
Doesn't
range.
height
Much
have height
smarter
advantage?
Height does have height. It is a height. It is a height buff. Height gets a buff every time height is on the brawl. It's like a 30% buff, you know. I'd be more confident fighting here, but Connor going for some initial poke. Spades coming out with that stun there. Not gonna be able to do much to Lemur. Lemur's gonna get the heal off. Dylan's in the middle of combat here. Dylan's gonna go insane heal out from Neff, knocking height and getting Dylan back up to full HP. Yeah, BOA just unfortunately had to struggle playing up into the base camp vision. And one of these things, like I was saying about Z, is they just have so much oppressive range, like with
true.
like area denial. It just unfortunately makes it impossible, I think, for BOA to like play for recap.
Yeah, and that's a really good point, because like the
Z
round
gets the base
Z's taken is when they've basically had fire control. They're forcing BOA to push fire while they pump, damage into them. Like really good call out there, because those are a lot of the rounds we've seen Z win is with the fire control. But this round, BOA taking the high ground for themselves. Omzor on the fire, gonna get that armor upgrade pretty soon here. So Z gonna look to push in, but it's gonna be fighting against high ground, against green armor, and BOA has big range damage pressure of their own. Lemur looking for the entry, but Spadestorms puts him into the wall. So just like that, 1 member down, 2 members down on the side of Z. BOA looking so strong here, Wedel. Gonna lock in round 4, it looks like, in our 3rd match of the series.
You're right. It's just insane. Like, one moment, like if BOA now I've seen BOA get the vision control and base camp control, and it's just like, instead of area denial, they just have shove denial. They'll just keep pushing you away, It's like the bodyguards like trying to keep me out of the club, bro. They're just like, no. You're not allowed to pass. Not allowed to pass. So it's like, it's crazy. And Omzor has been hitting some crazy bird bomb stuns. I think they're just allowing for a lot of damage. Underestimating that damage, by the way, by a long shot. I think that stun and that damage is so long, and it boops you. It's booped people into the myth rain of arrows so many times that I think it's just going unnoticed. It's crazy.
And also really good to deny the wisp play, right? Like trying to stand on a wisp, throwing that bird bomb out also damages the wisp. So Omzor playing that really well. Conroe looking for the entry, gets a huge punch, multiple members down, but Z actually trades back so well, able to counter that. Spadestorm's able to get 1 kill through with Viridius Fury, takes Dylan out, but they are standing on that res. He's got the Zeph mark, gonna be res through. Lemur trying to stand on it, is gonna be able to get it through, so just Spadestorm's left. And just like that, Z having a really strong round, not winning off the fire, winning off of a really good counter engage off of what looked like a punch from Connor that should have won the round by itself.
And we go to 4-4. Z back against the wall. This is it. This is your last round. You can't act like there's anything else on the line. It is it here. You lose, you're done. They win. BOA take the victory. But if you're Z, you gotta go for it. You gotta get the win. Maybe play a little safe. Maybe get the base camp, do your play your game. pull it out here. But BOA off to an impressive start, getting some long range going out. Not having to use too many heals early on, honestly. Really smart, really good from them. Got to keep a lot of the Vibe Brew going for them. They're getting a lot of poke out. Height looking for... They're just playing a nice little engage. Like
Lemur gets the entry there. Punch, double punch, deletes both Height and Omzor. Crazy. So just like that, like you mentioned, Wedel, they need the perfect play. This is the round. This is where competitors show up huge. Lemur does it to perfection right there. Double punch deletes 2 members. Just like that, BOA on the back foot, although I do think they did get a member to the north here. So Spadestorms is going to get the res through. 30 seconds left. Going to be a really difficult push to go through. Connor might just int there to get the res. He is. So everyone going to be coming back together off of this res. Has 25 seconds to push this fire. Z needs this round, Wedel.
They need it. They need it so much. And Height's already kind of low. He has the anti-heal applied onto him. He has no mana left. He's going to have to heal up. Z losing Lemur, one of the crucial members of their team. Lemur coming back up for just a second to get knocked again. But now Z take another one down from BOA. BOA are playing in such a tight region here. Maddie putting out the damage. Spades trying to take out Height, but unfortunately, it's just going to come down to Maddie. And BOA take the win.
Dude, that is crazy, bro. Z did exactly what they needed to do. The only thing they didn't do is finish everyone off. They knocked down 3, chasing 1, but Spadestorms makes it up to the north, stealths out of there, gets the res, and with just like 25 seconds left, Buggy Oath Abusers with a really strong push into the fire, showing that they are truly the dominant team here in the OOOTECH Quintessence Arena Tournament, taking their 3rd match victory in the best of 5, looking absolutely dominant here.
No, it was crazy plays coming out. You know, we had like the Omzor bird bombs into, you know, some insane like hits with the autos, like knocking them down to half HP, doing a lot of work for Height, being able to get the executes out there. Then we had like Spades and Dylan both, shout out to both of them, with some insane R&Bs, knocking people away, stunning them, preventing them from using a lot of their initial engage ultimate abilities. Obviously, big shout out to Height with playing crazy on the Brawl, Conra playing crazy on the Bishop, Lemur flexing the Bebo Brawl Bishop.
True.
You know, all the Bs, you know, BBB, flexing triple Bs out here. And then Maddie had some really insane ghost nades. And to wrap it all off, Neff, honestly, in my opinion, I think Neff had one of the best games out here on Zeph. I really enjoyed watching Neff play. Like, there was a lot of times where I thought the fights were over and Neff would hit this crazy nade or crazy ultimate, and just out of nowhere, boom, they were back in it. They were back able to play. And honestly, that was some of the best performance I've ever, you know, and I've played in like a lot of the BR games, you know, that was one of the best performances I've seen from Neff in just like arena setting, you know?
Yeah. And I think this BOA comp, like once they kind of got it dialed in over the course, you know, they were shifting some stuff up yesterday. We saw Height on the Oath, but after he locked in the Brawl pick later last night and continued on with that train today, like with the Brawl Bishop on the kind of frontline engage and the Shrike Myth to follow up, every single player being super proficient on those hunters, it's just such an unstoppable force to try to deal with. And you got to give it to Z. They put up a really good fight. Like all these players, like doing everything they can against this comp. We saw a couple really good kind of macro answers from Z in the draft, figuring out BOA a little bit, able to take a match for themselves. But in the end, BOA, you know, just have sort of built this synergy as like all these teams kind of being brand new, playing together for the first time. We see Height and Conra being so dialed in together, playing so well on the engage angle. But at the same time, Connor and Spadestorms with the ranged pump on the Mist Strike playing super well together as well. So they have this super oppressive, massive high damage backline with this really crazy disruptive engage punch, you know, entry coming through from the Height Bishop. And they basically played it for perfection. And we saw it, you know, we saw them sort of scale up through the course of the tournament to where, you know, in this final series, just looking so powerful.